how we start live streams. Same fucking shit and balls.
Usually.
You were live. The internet can totally see you now.
What the fuck?
Oh.
Get you ready for...
Hey, live.
Hey, I gotta wake up for this one.
Although it's yellow. It says check resolution.
No, the res
Give it a
is
sec.
fine.
Just give it a second.
Yeah, it was yellow for a sec last time.
Yeah, just ring that bell, motherfucker.
I still don't see it as an end user.
Well, Robert Connolly sees us.
Oh.
Hello, Robert.
Okay, I just have to go to my notifications. It wasn't showing up on the page, but... Whatever.
Whatever, indeed. I was not aware that we were live until just now.
Tweet.
Oh, you tweeting?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this looks so plain. There's no decorations in here at all.
Well, sorry. God damn it.
There's just a poster of Mean Johnny Barrows up there. Hell yes.
Are you saying you can't see it?
I see it. It keeps hopping around a bit. Looks like it's stabilized now. I like it. Robert Connolly likes it. We're glad to be back, Robert Connolly. Talking some blaxploitation movies.
Yeah, we're actually like nicely centered.
Yeah, we tried that.
I know, but like with all of us here,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I realized
I think it's a much better
with
look
the,
than
with
it
the
was before.
symmetry now, I now have a new spot that I'm going to put the bottom of the posters so that hopefully they will.
Gotcha.
Generally, I picked a point on this since it's kind of sort of center in the room. Yeah, we're jumping like it's.
Yeah, it's a little hitchy.
Well, okay, so I have noticed that Wi-Fi extender was being real spotty, or that Wi-Fi thing out there was being real spotty.
Oh, the one I reset? Yeah, that one should be disconnected. That shouldn't even be entering into it.
Are you on?
Oh, it's disconnected?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did a hard reset on it.
Well, something on your Wi-Fi was being spotty.
Okay.
So.
Are you on wide fidelity with this computer?
Yeah, I'm only getting 480p on
Oh no.
this computer.
Well, that's bad.
I can
Same with this one. Maybe it's because your computer sucks.
I have 1080p.
Maybe it's because your computer sucks. 4K or nothing. I want to see the pores in my face.
No, you don't.
I do, Chuck. I think about it all the time. What?
No. Absolutely not. That is,
No.
as they say, overkill.
Why is
No,
this
we spend
fucker
all that
doing-
Patreon money on extra movies on Blu-ray that we promptly sell for $2 and donate to charity.
Because they printed 100 of them.
Was that was it a 1080p version?
Yeah, it was a Blu-ray.
High definition Blu-ray?
Mm-hmm. Straight from Fred Williamson's stock.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure.
He provided the
Why did you turn
interpositive.
automatic brightness, you piece of shit?
Whoa.
Whoa,
Whoa.
whoa, whoa!
Whoa.
Back off!
Easy.
Hey, what's going on over there?
Cabling.
Ooh,
Fucking fix it.
wow! That's one long cable, sir.
Well, it was 25 feet or 50 feet.
Mm.
I like those odds.
Considering I think this is about
Is that a
32 feet.
Cat 5 cable?
6.
Cat 6.
Cat 6 or Cat
Yeah.
6?
Whatever it takes.
I don't think 6E is a thing, is it?
What about Cat
Oh.
7? I've heard Cat 7 exists.
Yes, there's Cat 6E, I think. Well,
Oh, it's very
Yeah.
sexy. Am I right?
it's very 6E.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Wait, what the hell is this Hookers for Jesus thing that's trending right now?
What do you got?
Apparently, this group called Hookers for Jesus, and they decided that that Hookers for Jesus needed like I don't know $1 million, something like that.
So we probably briefly dropped, but we should be back and more stable.
Did like that.
How does the stream look?
Welcome to the Forbidden Zone.
Render your judgment.
Guilty.
That was like almost Dalek.
Yeah.
or we could go Transformers the movie, and innocent.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we're
Quintessons.
gonna kill him anyway.
They never made Quintesson toys, if I remember right.
Innocent.
All they had were the Sharkticons.
Sharkticons.
There was a Wreck-Gar, but man, his toy was shit.
I thought you said his toilet was shit, and I was like, "What the fuck is he
Shit
talking
your
about?
place, sir.
Shit your
Shit
place.
thy place." Tonight we're sponsored by Arizona Green Tea.
Yeah. Get you a fuckload of tea.
It's 99 cents. It's on the can.
Price is on the can. But it's on the can.
It's on the can. Yeah, it is on the can.
It is on the can. So stream showing healthy and all that, I assume now.
It's green.
okay. Super green.
Good to go.
Light is green, trap is clean.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I bumped
Oh.
it up to 7K or
Wait, what?
sorry,
7,000
what?
bit
7,000 kbps.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I was gonna say I don't want to transmit in 7K.
Yeah, get that new internet.
On the bit rate, not the
On the bit rate.
The bit rate.
On the bit rate. And I do
Yeah.
a little turn on the bit
basically
rate.
decided I'm not. I hate the fucking AT&T router.
Oh,
Yeah, so you're gonna go
You
night
turned
off.
on it.
Yeah, it didn't take long because, like he was saying, it's just like every once in a while the Wi-Fi is just like pitchy.
Yeah. Mine doesn't seem to have, like, every once in a while, like when I'm outside, it has an issue, but also your house is as big as
A house.
my apartment plus the deck, so
Yeah, your house is bigger than my house now. That's why I got to sell my house, get a new house.
Right.
it's a big, fat, thick-ass house.
Yeah.
My house is bigger than your mama jokes.
Got girth.
Yeah. This house fucks.
There's something fuck about this house, and it's that
Yeah.
bathroom.
That bathroom does not fuck.
That bathroom is fucked.
It is a fuck.
Word.
Yeah.
Let's
You got a toilet in that other bathroom yet?
No.
He's got a
I mean,
hole
there
in the
is a-
ground.
There is a toilet
Yeah,
in
you
that
was gonna
bathroom.
say you can go
Toilet's in the tub.
in the tub. Don't shit my tub.
Yeah.
Shit tub.
I never did shit in that one on the street by the old place.
Should have.
Oh, man.
That's what it was there for.
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
there for weeks. You had your chance.
For weeks.
Yeah. It's for weak people to come by and shit in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a homeless guy shit on our back doorstep at work.
Nice.
That was a good one.
Like on the stoop or like down?
Like there was an old apparently there was a former light post and now it's just like a stump, and he sat on the stump and took a dump and
This is the worst Dr. Seuss story ever.
yep.
Sat on the stump and took a dump.
I will not shit in a box. I will not shit with a fox.
Yeah.
I will sit on the stump and I will take my dump.
And people are like, "Was that you that did that?" I'm like, "No, honestly, like
Totally.
I hate this place, but I would shit inside the place.
Yeah.
I would shit your place.
You would shit
I would
directly,
not shit outside the place.
in
There's
directly
no
on a
point in
piece of
that.
machinery.
My boss isn't going back there.
Yeah.
You shit on his desk like
Right.
a man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Shit on Deborah's
like
desk.
a mouse.
Mean Johnny Barrows.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Frederick Williamson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Let's talk
Oh,
about
man.
him.
That took Elliot Gould half an hour.
Oh yeah, he was in this movie for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was.
Special
And then he
appearance.
just disappeared as quickly as he
He
appeared.
was like, bye.
All right, let's do this thing.
All right.
Get ready for the Echo Clap.
Yeah, it echoes a lot in here.
From Amazon, the new Echo Clap. All right, and welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey, BMFcast.
Yeah, episode 496.
Boy, that's a number.
Yep.
Boy, howdy it is.
Cranking along.
Keeps climbing on up.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every episode of this here BAMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. And we come in here and talk about it for the first half. Then they get ratings. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jockses and robot jocks.
Robot Jock.
Robot Jocks.
Robot Jocks.
It's good.
Oh, yeah.
It's great. In fact.
However, there are bad movies. As a stay away, they get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags and giant bags of trash.
Yeah.
Not great.
Boo to those.
We don't like
Bad, in
those
fact.
movies.
No.
No. Hey, guess what month it is?
It's Blaxploitation History Month.
History Month.
You are right. It is.
It's the best month of the year.
The most wonderful time of the year.
On
some
paper,
would say.
it is the best month.
Yeah. So, for week 2 of this, we did 1975's Mean Johnny Barrows.
Right.
We did.
Directed and starring Fred Williamson, BMFcast alum,
Uh-huh.
Boy, is he
for some things.
Decorated BMFcast.
You know,
alum.
that man. Bolt.
highly decorated.
Hammer.
That Man Bolt, Black Eye, 3 the Hard Way, Bucktown, 1990 The Bronx Warriors, and Original Gangstas.
Yeah.
Do we want to go ahead and get the other alums out
Yeah,
of the way? Sure.
Yeah, also
Might as
had Roddy McDowell from class of 1984. GoBots, Battle of the Rock Lords, Shakma. And from Extra, The Poseidon Adventure, and Scavenger Hunt.
Yeah.
He also had Stuart Whitman, famous for
Omega Cop,
Omega Cup.
Omega Cop.
And R.G. Armstrong of White Line Fever, The Car, Lone Wolf McQuaid, and Bulletproof.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Yeah. Bulletproof.
Yeah, we like Bulletproof.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah! Where the term butthorn entered the common lexicon.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah!
Yeah.
I call people butthorns all the time in real life now, and I don't know if people are just used to my shit or
We
they don't
are.
care.
We
Or
are.
they're
Yeah.
just
I mean-
actual butthorns.
I mean, other people.
Oh,
you know.
We're very used to your shit.
I know you guys are, but
Yeah.
I don't know if like people at work and other friends are just like, oh, it's just him. He just says weird shit
So-
sometimes, or
This is actually our second recording in the new studio, but the first live stream version of it.
Right.
I had declared when we were moving, I was like, when we move, no more plot summaries. And then you were like, what? No, of course you still must read plot summaries. And I'm happy to because of one that is provided on IMDb.
oh,
this
now
week.
you want to do
Yeah.
plot summaries.
This-
Now
this-
you can't.
This one's
You're not allowed.
joyously terrible.
Okay,
and,
great.
I like it.
Okay.
A GI is unjustly thrown out of the service and winds up being a gas station attendant. A gangster wants to hire him as a hitman. He agrees, with disastrous results.
See, now you're fine. I think you're finally just seeing what we see in the plot
Oh,
summary.
okay.
He agrees.
He agrees.
yeah, the letterboxed one's pretty good, too.
Is it?
A Vietnam veteran gets caught in a mob war with a couple of double-crossers.
That's succinct. I like it.
Also a spoiler.
Bum, bum, bum.
Now I'm looking for double
It's the
crossers.
it's the mafia. It's a crime drama. There's going to be double crossing.
It's the flower mafia.
It's the flower and drug mafia.
It's true. There were some drugs.
Yeah, when we are saying flour as in the plant life, not the baking product.
Right.
Correct.
Yes,
This is not
yes.
Papio Daniels
Yeah.
Mafia Hour.
That'd be pretty good, though. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I ain't got no goddamn constituency.
Or a consigliere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was smarter, that's the joke I'd have made.
Sure. Yeah. So this movie begins, as that summary says. Fred Williamson is in the army.
Yes,
we were
he's
told
in-
we were told that he was in Vietnam, but it appears he's just like doing a training exercise about how to avoid landmines.
Yes.
And then
In California.
steps on a landmine.
He does. Yeah.
He is led intentionally onto a landmine, I
Well,
believe.
I mean,
By a racist other soldier.
he's got
no, this is Captain.
yeah,
That's his
captain other
right?
shoulder.
He's
sure.
he's a racist captain.
He is a
then,
captain, yes. But there's this motley crew of, recruits or whatever they are, and he's like,
Worst of the worst.
yeah, I'm just saying they're super schlubby. They're just people they found in California in 1975. And so,
As happens.
like he's like, well, there's a dummy minefield here, and I'm going to show you how to watch out for it, and then takes 2 steps while he's like starting his patent speech, and then click, and then out from the bushes comes racist captain and his racist flunky, and they're basically like, he stepped on a landmine, huh?
That's a real one. Yeah.
Yeah, you better be careful. All you got to do is put the safety pin back in, huh? So he takes his name tag off and then clears away. He does all this stuff. He clears away the landmine and puts the pin back in, and then has all the recruits bring their flak jackets, pile it all around the landmine, then takes his foot off and makes a combat roll, which is good because this pin didn't do shit. I'm guessing maybe the movie doesn't explain it, but I assume the actual safety pin of a landmine would be a lot stronger than the
Yes.
little pin from his lapel.
More than likely.
But
yes.
so I'm guessing that the pin was just like, nah, not strong enough for this snap, and that's why the mine took time to blow
bought
up.
him that-
Yeah.
That mere moment.
So yeah, he just he rolls out of the way, and then he basically walks over and decks the racist captain, and then we just get voiceover as it is like, fuck this, we don't need to watch this, and drifts off into him traveling back home about, you're out of the service, and I'm gonna have you court-martialed.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then he's just on a bus. He's been court-martialed. Like just skip to the end. Like he's homeless now. Like he's going back to his hometown, which I guess is L.A.
Yeah.
or somewhere. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it never specifically shows you any L.A. like things to go. This is L.A. 100%, but it does look like the Hollywood Hills and all that.
No,
stuff.
there aren't any like known landmarks, but there is a like the Los Angeles wagon farmers market or something,
Yeah.
and the street signs are all blue.
Yeah. And you see Vine of Hollywood and Vine fame. If that
Was there
tickles your
Vine?
fancy. Yeah, there was some Vine. But yeah, it's Southern California. It's the place that's not New York. Like if you're filming a movie that's not New York,
Right.
it's here.
Back when you could still rent Los Angeles, or
Right.
get film permits in Los Angeles,
Yes,
I guess.
before Vancouver had to become Los
Right.
Angeles. Yeah, but he's back.
Yeah,
and
has no plan. He's just
gets off the bus.
he gets off a bus and then is
mugged.
immediately mugged. Like
Yeah.
two guys just jump.
Well,
in
I
and-
wouldn't call it immediately. There's a lot of walking.
Okay, he walks for a couple minutes and then just like these guys are just kind of following him. Like I don't know why they target him because he's not dressed fancy. He's got a denim suit,
Yeah.
and it's weird because it's like I don't know if it looks like it would be something you would wear today except for the jacket part. But his jeans are like I don't know if it's just naturally bleach stained like into a design pattern, but it looks like something you would like distressed jeans you would pay extra money for these days.
Yes.
But matching jacket that's not all messed up. But these guys are just like this guy and
Obviously, he's got something.
mug him. I mean, do they mug him or do they
do.
just beat the shit out of him? Did they take his wallet?
They take his
They
wallet.
take
Okay.
they take
Yeah, I think he had a duffel bag.
something.
Okay.
No, he was walking without a bag.
Yeah. Was he?
He just
Okay.
he just had the clothes on his back and the money in his pocket,
Yeah.
and they took the money in his pocket.
They did.
Yeah, but then the cops see him just like trying to get up from this scuffle, and it's just me like, oh no, they're drunk. Get him.
Get him. And then they take him to jail, and they're just like, talk, drunk. And they're
And he
like,
just
oh,
remains- he
you've
just
got a
remains
silver
silent.
star in your pocket. Who'd you steal it from?
Yeah.
Talk. Racist. And then, like, they're going to beat him, and then the captain comes over and is like, hey, stop it. Get out
Now,
of here.
I mean, okay, so these guys are not doing themselves any favors by being horribly racist, as cops are wont to do in the 1970s and now. And but like, so
You all right?
I don't understand. I don't know. It's just something caught in my
Yeah,
throat.
a little something.
Yeah, it was like history that should be gone. But they're like his silence. I don't understand his silence. His silence doesn't do any favors. Like he could have headed all this up in the past just by saying, "I just got jumped. I'm not drunk." Like
this is
Now-
like,
no,
for
okay.
him. This is we come to find out. This is like the third strike because the police captain comes in and sends those guys away, and he's like, Johnny Barrows, I remember you. You played ball, and we all loved you. And then you slept with a co-ed, and you screwed it all up.
Yeah.
So he's a hometown football hero who got kicked out of school for something with a co-ed. They
Like,
never,
Hey, he's
like-
Johnny Football.
like made it all the way to like college level.
yes,
like,
2 years of college, got
Yeah.
booted out of there for a co-ed scandal. Goes to Vietnam, gets dishonorably discharged, and then
Well-
comes back. And the second he gets off the bus, is mugged. So he's probably like,
Yes.
fuck everything.
And then immediately arrested by the cops
Yeah, sure.
for that.
He just goes into Rambo mode of just
Again,
like,
I'm not saying it's the onus is on the victim, but I'm saying
Sure.
it's weird because okay, I could see like he's kind of like, well, fuck this shit. I just got jumped, and maybe is
He probably also
'cause-
has a concussion.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say he gets up like rather wobbly. He dramatically takes his time getting up, and so I could see maybe not being completely clear headed then. But you'd think by the time they got him to the police station, he might be like, yeah, okay, that's my silver star. I'm a war hero. Like, fuck off. I got jumped.
Maybe
Like,
he
I was
just
woozy,
knows
man.
that like these are racist '70s cops,
Sure.
and
It's not gonna matter.
it doesn't matter what he says. But he does have discharge papers, so
Yeah, it's a whole strange
Whatever.
thing. I mean, I understand that like there's a sense of pride, but like this kind of begins almost the same way First Blood begins. You know, several years later, where it's just like that anti-soldier sentimentality or whatever. I don't get it. Like why or sentiment, not sentimentality. But like I don't understand that whole thing. Like I understand like there were anti-war people, but by and large, I don't think the American people are like fuck you, war people.
well, I
like-
mean, there were some returning Vietnam veterans getting spit on and the like. So
Sure, I'm saying that was the I would like to think that's the fringe element anti-war. It's like again like not the soldiers' fault. Like maybe blame the government
Yeah.
that sent them there, but like it's just just like Rambo could have saved himself some trouble just by saying, I'm just passing through, like he could have just been like, I just got jumped. I'm not drunk. Like, that's all.
Right.
And stopped all this. But yeah.
But his hype man lets him out anyway.
But the police captain or whatever comes out is like, hey, I know you. It's like, anyway, you're free to go. Like,
Right.
fuck off, guys. So he's just wandering around aimlessly looking for a job. It starts by finding a want ads paper in the trash.
No,
Oh, no.
No, he wanders into the back of an Italian restaurant.
Oh, right, yeah.
And the
Yeah,
chef
just-
just picks up a knife and is just like, get out. And he's just like, man, come on, hungry. And then a lady walks in like, hey. And then her man walks in, who is Stuart Whitman, and he's just like, Johnny Barrows, I played against you in college. I played state. And
You
he's like,
ran over us like a truck.
and he's like, yeah. And he's like, have a plate of food.
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Have
So
a spaghetti.
he's gone-
with a one meatball.
he's gone 2 places since he got back home. Both places, someone has been like, hey, you, I know you.
Johnny Football.
And he immediately is just like, so I heard you did some things, so you want to come and be part of this mafia shit? And Johnny's like, nope, I do not.
Yeah. It's just a little strange to like have two people who know his whole back, like not just know his from football. Like, think about it. Think about your average, like, even if you're a fan of a college and that person were to like something happened, like I got kicked out of the college. Do you then follow their war career? Like, I mean, two people in a row that know the whole story, like it's a little strange.
Listen, maybe there was like a Netflix series about him that they
Yeah,
all
there was a
binged.
30 on- 30
like
and
these
30.
guys 20 years later, they're gonna be like, Aaron Hernandez, hey buddy, I heard
Nobody's-
about some stuff you did.
Nobody's
maybe you
gonna be
come work
saying-
for us, huh?
Yeah.
I hear
Nobody's
you're-
going to
I
be
hear
saying
you're
anything
killing
to
it.
Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
There might have
but-
just been like a sports reporter who was just
Yeah,
like
I
had a
guess if,
major
like-
hard-on for Johnny Barrows, who was following everything
Well,
he
like
did.
if Herschel Walker got kicked out of college and then joined the army and did a bunch of cool
Sure.
or a bunch of good army shit,
You would be like, Herschel
I guess-
Walker did
I
something
guess-
today.
you know, the NBC Nightly News, Herschel Walker today was awarded a Silver Star for his actions in Afghanistan.
It's
or
amazing.
whatever.
Tom Brokaw.
Thank you.
Timely, too.
That's
They've had
the only
12
news.
acres since.
We know our target audience, all right?
Right.
You
That was the
like,
last
all
time any of
people
us
who know
watched
the-
NBC Nightly News.
You guys
was when
like-
Tom Brokaw was
Yeah.
there.
Ooh, could you do Edward R. Murrow next?
No, I cannot.
I was going to say good luck.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway.
only people who know that SNL sketch.
Anyway, he leaves.
Yeah.
He's just like, no, I want
Yeah.
no part
Yeah,
of
because
this.
the guy initially was just like, would you want a job in the restaurant? He's like, no, not really. I think I'll find my own way. And he's like, I got other things you could do. He's like, definitely no.
No.
But-
As a Letterboxd review pointed out, the working title of this film was changed from "I don't know Mario, I'll think about it." You're gonna hear that a lot.
Yeah, because that guy's name is Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this just begins the 30-minute wandering around town montage set to the best, longest Stargrove ever.
Oh man, it is
Yeah.
seriously like
It was making me rethink the Stargrove title
Right?
because
Yeah.
I'm not sure that it's 20 minutes long. It feels like it's 20 minutes long, but it is at least, no lie, no exaggeration, 10 minutes of him walking around various places where he could try to get a job and
the
somebody singing about
montage.
a silver star hero. What?
the montage is maybe 5 minutes long. The act of him looking for a job is at least 20 minutes, at least because
Fair, yeah.
because the montage itself. Okay, so
Act 2 is him looking for a job.
yeah, the weird thing about the montage is that okay, if you're gonna use like cross dissolves and things like that, that's one thing. This movie like starts a cross dissolve and then forgets the slider halfway,
Yeah.
and just so like there's a whole bunch of shots that are like shots on top of shots.
I actually really like this.
It's okay.
I think
mean,
it's a unique design choice, and I appreciate it.
I just feel like it. I appreciate what they were trying to do. I just think you need to compose the shots better if you're going to do this. Because
Agreed.
there's too many times where it's like he's still walking off in the background and reappearing on the side of the screen going somewhere else. And it just, like, the symmetry is off on these shots if
Yeah.
you're going to do this, like, long cross-dissolve thing. But anyway, it just... we can't can't understate the Stargroviness of them narrating like he had a silver star and now Johnny's coming back home with unemployed and now he's looking for a
Can't buy
job.
meal
Yeah.
with a silver star.
Yeah.
Was this his directorial debut?
It was.
Well,
Okay.
good for him for going for it.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. like eventually he has to like sleep in a doorway, and then cut to him waking up in a doorway and just realizing he's still homeless and wandering around.
Well, it's also like I'm hungry because
Yeah.
he had a little spaghetti the night before.
Yeah, but that was
La
it.
spaghetti.
So he wanders over to where a couple other hobos are hanging out, and he notices this weird like carrot hamburger in the trash, and he's like, "I'm so
Goddamn
hungry,
Californians.
I would eat that carrot hamburger." And then is just trying to make this sly movement, like, I hope this wino doesn't see me take his trash carrot hamburger out of the trash. And then suddenly, Elliot Gould shows up.
Uh-huh.
Fancy hobo, the fanciest hobo.
Yes.
Yes, he's colloquially known as the professor.
Yeah.
Or that's how you...
Professor Theodore Rasputin Waterhouse.
He does introduce that. It says most people just call me the professor. Anyway, but I mean, he's got a monocle hanging down.
Yep.
A cane.
He has a monocle hanging down and like a pair of glasses as well. Just it's like...
He's got two pairs of glasses because he had a pair of glasses that he put in a pocket,
Okay.
and then he has another hanging off an outside pocket,
Right.
and then he's got the monocle, and he's also got a long scarf and like a beret of some sort. He is dressed
Yep. Yeah.
fully dressed.
He went
yeah.
into the wardrobe trailer and just pointed at everything. Put it all
Yeah,
on
He
me.
just spun around until something stuck and ran out with it.
I mean,
It's just a mishmash of things.
yeah, he just walks in. He's the Artful Dodger, and then it's just
Yes.
he's like, all right,
Yeah.
Let me
thanks
teach you how to be a hobo.
Right.
And then we get like 2 minutes of Elliot Gould showing him how to be a hobo.
Yeah, basically, it's the whole thing is like you haven't been a hobo long. You're not dirty enough. Let me show you. Don't eat that that garbage carrot burger. Let me take you down to
Yeah.
the soup kitchen. You'll get preached at for a few minutes, but I mean, he's just monologuing all this. Like you're gonna get preached at. Just ignore that, and then we'll get the soup. But you can pretend it's like fancy soup, and then like they stop by this random dude who's had a hot dog stand.
Yep.
Or
And
no,
they
not
totally
a hot dog
gank his-
stand, but it's like a
hot
built,
dog window.
Yeah, window. Like
It might be the hot dog house.
It could be, but
Or
he
the
stops
doghouse.
there and they surround this dude and just start picking at his food. They're like, "Oh, I see you got this," and it's like, "Do you know this guy, or are you just randomly
And
drinking his Coke and eating part of his hot dog?"
I think it's supposed to be like, hey, look at Elliot Gould fast talking this guy, charming him up, and this guy's like so
Yes.
enamored that he'll let you eat his hot dog.
But
and then
I think also it was not planned. I think they just accosted this man.
Okay,
it's entirely possible. I mean, anything could happen in 1975
yeah,
LA.
But they take him with them, and then it cut to like Fred Williamson is like walking up to
The soup
the soup kitchen line.
Yeah.
Elliot Gould and the Lollipop Man, as they call him, because he's wearing this weird striped shirt, and
Gone.
they're both gone,
Yeah.
and you never see him again.
Nope.
He just wandered in and wandered out of the movie that fast.
Yep.
Got paid by the word, I think, and then so he's just there. And
Apparently that took him half an hour.
I don't think we mentioned at the Italian restaurant besides Mario, we also met Nancy,
Yes.
who
Is a lady.
she's a lady. I believe she's the introducing lady at the end of the credits.
Oh, okay. Well, hello.
I don't know. I didn't really actually look her up. I just
don't know.
There's not
Yeah, that
there's not a lot of ladies.
That
in
was
this movie.
introducing Jenny Sherman.
There you go. So,
She's a pretty lady.
but like she's
got nice teeth.
I mean, I can't say it any better. She's 70s Natalie Dormer, or more to the point,
Yeah.
Marjorie Tyrell. Because like the first time we see her, she is like wearing a shirt that is being held on by miracles because like there is nothing
Yeah.
connecting the two halves of the shirt.
Yep.
and
It's just like, why are you even wearing a shirt,
Yeah.
really?
and then she shows up at the soup kitchen again, now wearing less of a shirt the other way, because like now it's like one that's just like a tube top that is like also being held up by miracles, and she's just like, "Hey, Barrows or Johnny or whatever, like get it the fuck in here," you know?
Yes.
Yeah, and she's like, "Mario wants to talk to you again," and he's just like, because I think we've seen maybe amongst his job searching montage, we've also now started to get the mafia plot that there is this family. What are they? What's their names? Ricconi?
The Da Vinci's.
There's
Well,
the Da Vinci's
the
and
Ricconis
the
are the people
Ricconis.
that are like talking
Yeah.
to him and like know him from his past and on the
Right.
people we've kind of been following. Now we've seen the Da Vinci's, even though it's spelled like Da
Vince.
Da Vince.
Da Vince.
Yeah.
Da Vince is on fire.
But like they show up and that's Roddy McDowell's one of the two sons, and then
He's the youngest, stupidest, not in the mafia, but for some reason is in the mafia's son.
right.
He's just into wearing fancy jackets.
I did well to the point like when I first saw him, I didn't even realize it was Roddy McDowell because he was wearing like a crushed velvet purple suit, and I couldn't take my eyes off him until I finally went up and went, "Oh, that's Roddy McDowell." I was enamored with the suit for a second. But yeah, so there's this brief explanation that there might be animosity because the Da Vinci's have moved in to this turf and they're going to be dealing in narcotics, which the Racconis are not about.
We don't get the drug explanation for a while.
Not for a
the
while.
only thing we get about their business is that they run flower shops, and it's like, what the fuck is this mafia about?
Yeah.
But yeah, way later we are told it's drugs.
I'm just saying they've shown up and you know, Mario's still like, hey, come work for me. But I believe this is like the first time it's come work for me because I actually have a job for you for your murdering skills.
Yes. You used to murder, right? Come
Yeah,
on.
because he takes him back to Old Man Racconi and he's basically like, there's a family that has moved in and I don't want them here.
Yeah, so
What
do your murder thing.
What's your worth? And he's just like, I don't know, $100,000. And he's like, okay, interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about murdering an entire family? Not, well, some family, but, that kind of family.
He's basically like, well, that was war, you see, and that's different. So,
Yeah, so anyway,
no.
thanks, but no thanks. And they're like, all right, well, have a good day.
Yeah, get the fuck out. Yeah.
So the second time he's turned them down, I believe. Maybe third. I don't know. But
He before he went and talked to the old man, he went and got a job at a gas station.
no, the gas station, I think, was after it because I think he was still homeless. He walked out with his pride.
No, they
Yes.
took him from the gas station to go meet the old man.
No, because she caught him on the soup line first. He was standing in line to get soup, and then she shows up, and then I believe takes him to Mario and just one. Maybe it is like to go see the old man when they get him from the gas station, but she picks him up from the soup line one more time just to take him to see Mario. To which he's like, no. I'm
Yeah,
still
the
not in.
result is the same thing.
Yeah,
Right.
But yes, the third, maybe it is the third time he has gone and gotten a job at a gas station. He's been, we've been getting more montage of him walking up to people and just like,
It's the last
shake
place
the
he's
head.
wandered into, and he's just Armstrong is the manager of this gas station, and he's just like, "Hey, I need a job."
It's weird because he starts off
Nice.
kind of nice,
Yeah.
ish.
Man, then
I
he
mean,
turns into
a
an absolute-
little surly, but then just quickly becomes an asshole very quickly. But at first he's just like, well, do you have any smarts? He's like, yeah, about 2 years of college. And it's like, well, what happened? He's like, well, I went to Vietnam. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, do you have your discharge papers? Which, is that a thing? Like, do people just do that? Like,
Yep.
okay.
I mean, you will have discharge papers to prove military service.
Sure.
Like, that's one of the things you use. I think a regular discharge is like a DD 214, and if you claim it, people can ask for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
At the
but-
time, a lot of people were just like, "Veteran, huh? All right, get
yeah.
the fuck in here."
But he takes the envelope out of his pocket and it's just like, oh, you know what? Never mind. I know what the outcome of this. And he's like, oh, dishonorable discharge. And he's like, I'll give you a job anyway. Yeah.
yep.
Go clean the toilets.
Yeah. Go
and
clean
then
the toilets.
scrub the floor, and then make the coffee.
And it sounds like he's doing it like a Mr. Miyagi thing to him. Like, I'm going to give you the shit jobs and eventually teach you how to, fix a Holly 4-barrel carburetor in a 69 Camaro, But
nope,
No.
he's just
relegated to
treat-
shit duty. Yeah.
Yes.
Because, again, more montage happens, and I believe at some point in the middle of his working and just like, oh, why am I doing this shit, and why aren't you paying me? Because he, like after the end of the day, he's like, hey, I'm kind of homeless and have no money. He's like, well, you can sleep here. It's like, yeah, well, what about getting paid? He's like, don't worry about it. I'll get
You
you.
college kids always asking about getting paid.
Yeah, I'll pay you. Don't worry about it. So he's sleeping at the gas station, and like the very next day, or I don't know how much time has passed, but shortly thereafter, he is sleeping in this like storage closet of this gas station. And the guy walks in. And this is where he starts becoming an asshole. He's just like, "The fuck are you doing sleeping? This isn't a hotel. Get up! Why isn't the coffee made?"
It's like, well, I don't have an alarm clock in this fucking closet. But he doesn't say that. He's just like, I'm sorry, boss. I'll do better. Maybe I could do some car stuff today. No, clean the toilet. He's like,
No,
I cleaned the
absolutely
toilet
not.
yesterday.
There was also a montage of him working at the gas station when he first started there, because I just want to point out, because there's one part where like he's cleaning the bathroom and like a little old lady is like waiting to use it, and he comes out, it's just comedic because she's like 4'6" and he's Fred Williamson, and she just looks up like, why are you in the ladies' room?
Yep.
But he gets to at the very last thing, he's like, clean the bathrooms, make sure this floor is spotless, and also I have a couple of cars in the back you can wash. But they have this montage of Fred Williamson washing a car, and it's
He has never washed a car before.
No.
it's pretty funny. I'm just saying, he's just like taking the rags and like throwing them at the windshield, and then sort of like, I don't know,
Yeah.
scrubble,
Just like
scrubble.
waggling the hose at it, and then he like rubs a little bit of the window, and then waggles the hose at it again, and then there's another scene of him throwing a couple rags on the roof, and it's like that. Nobody washes a car like this.
Nope. But yeah, so that was just in the middle of the montage. But yes, eventually Nancy comes back wearing even less than the last time, and there's like a curve. Like she's wearing nothing, almost nothing in the beginning, and in the beginning she's wearing almost nothing, and then it's like then the movie just hits a point where it's like, oh no, now she's going to put on more and more and more and more and more
Right.
clothes until the end of the movie.
Well, it's when she turns.
Yeah. Oh, she was a turncoat and put on all the coats.
Right.
I gotcha. Okay. It was foreshadowing, and I just didn't catch it.
Yes.
But yes, takes him to the old man, Riccatoni or whatever his name is. I don't know. Ricconi.
Raccoony.
Riccatoni. Yes, that's it. But yeah, he just turns it down yet again. And then,
He finally gets paid.
Yeah, I was gonna say it comes to a head because he's like, "Hey, it's been a month. When am I getting paid?" And the dude goes over and makes a big deal about going in the cash box and hands him a check, strangely made out for $21.
Yes. He's like,
Even
I've
in
been here
1975, a $21 check was like
For a
working
month?
a
yeah,
month.
Well, just a check for $21. Just that general concept, but then a paycheck for $21 is downright insulting.
Yeah,
and this man is taking advantage of
And
it.
his reasoning is like you drank too many sodas, took too many coffee breaks, and also there was that because when they come to pick him up, like when Mario and Nancy come to pick him up to take him to the old man Ricconi, the guy's like, "Tell this creep to fuck off," or he doesn't say that, but it's like, "Tell him to get out of here." And
They do call him a creep, though.
yeah, he does call him a creep, and,
Yeah.
and he doesn't like that. He remembers
oh,
that.
your
'Cause
friends
he does that like sit on it until the end of the month, and it's just like, "Oh yeah, and your friend called me a creep."
And there was something about missing parts.
something.
Yeah.
who knows?
A scene we did not see.
Yeah,
Right.
But
But yeah, he starts tussling with him, and the cop radar down the road goes off.
Before they even start tussling, like
Yeah.
they're just
Something's
just
happening to
pointing at
old
each other.
man
Yeah.
gas station.
Yes, old man gas station.
And they just roll up, and Fred Williamson immediately goes into karate mode.
Richard.
The cops come in, and he's just like, karate. And pretty much bests the cops until he stupidly turns his back on one of them, and he gets clobbered.
yeah, nightsticked and then dragged to jail. But
Back to jail, to which then the police captain is like, hey, you're back again.
yeah, and also like
Somebody got you out.
yeah, you must have friends in high places because the guy you assaulted isn't pressing charges, and the cops are okay with it, and somebody upstairs said let you go, so you're free to go.
Yep.
And then he's still just standing there like you can get out of the cell now. He's
Yeah,
doing the silent routine again.
Yep.
And eventually he's like, "There's a lady waiting for you," and he's like, "Oh, lady," and yeah, goes out to meet Nancy.
They go have a talk somewhere about his hopes and dreams, and
Actually, no. Okay, I think before he went to jail, I believe there was the shootout. Because I think like that's what prompted him like go get Barrows
yeah.
Barrows at all costs. Because all right, so the Ricconis hire their trusty hitman to go to the flower shop and whack all the people. And,
whacking them in
Yeah.
their flower shit.
and apparently this doesn't go well because they get sent back a dozen roses with like a bloody something in it. Some
There's
thing.
a lot of ultimate violence that is cut from the film. We just have to infer whatever it is. It's always just like, oh, there's something gross here, or oh, something bad happened to that person, or
Yep.
something
Yeah, but-
was said that we don't know what it is.
But basically, it's whatever that guy that they built up as
Yeah.
an awesome hitman is now dead. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, "Well, call Da Vinci and like set up a meeting because he'll be expecting violence as a retaliation, but if we'll have a peaceful talk and try to work this out." And then there's this whole long thing of like their dual cars like pulling in from opposite sides of this giant freaking cemetery. And then they get like all their people, well, like all of Da Vinci's guys are already standing out. Like he brought like 12 dudes. The Ricconis like walk out and it's like it's old man Ricconi, his son, and like one other dude, and they just stand there like, oh, we should have brought more guys. And then the two old guys like go and meet in the middle, and they're like, let's go talk. And it's basically like, this is sacred ground. We both have people buried here. I figured we could talk here, right? We respect this. All right, respect. And he's like, basically, it's like, I don't like what you're doing.
he's like, I want to come in and sell the drugs.
He's like, we don't do drugs here. And he's
No
like,
drugs.
yeah, but we're not selling them to white people. And he's like, I don't care. Like, what if like,
Yeah. He's a good
I'm
guy.
just saying,
mafia
like
boss.
Ricconi's like, all right, because he's
I
like,
think-
Sure.
he's pretty hip, at least in
Yeah.
this regard.
he's
I
like,
think
no
he
drugs.
also says like, we're normally. Oh no, that's a scene from later. But like a scene later, he's like, we're normally in the in the cars and wine and
Yeah, they've turned their old like numbers game into a legitimate business
Yeah.
success.
yeah,
they're just like they're probably
they have
running
investments and yeah.
they're
maybe
probably
the-
strong arming folks, but
Yeah,
they're
maybe some, but like otherwise racially he's kind of cool because he's like, yeah, it doesn't. I don't want you selling drugs to anybody. Like,
Yeah.
how would you feel if someone sold drugs to your kids? And the guy's like,
So that's no.
that's a no then? All right, well.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, we've had our words anyway. Back to the car, and then the 12 guys they brought pull out guns. Minus Roddy McDowell, who's standing in the middle that did not get a gun, is just like, oh dear.
Well, he's completely shocked. He seems shocked that this is happening. Like they didn't tell him the plan. Like when they give the signal, he's just like, "What is happening? No."
Well, he's just the sort of non-prancy flower guy. Is kind of how they.
Roddy McDowell's character is so weird in this, and I don't mean that like literally weird. I just mean that he's set up to be this guy that maybe kind of doesn't want to be a part of this life.
Right.
But then, like, he's the most involved because he's involved in the dumb double cross bullshit.
Yeah.
He just seems like maybe he would be okay with just a flower shop
Yeah, well,
and his fancy jackets.
and maybe he is. Maybe that's like the end game of the double cross. Is
Maybe he just
get-
wants all the violent pieces of shit out of the
I
way.
think he wanted everybody out of the way. That
Yeah.
seemed like he was happy with the flower shop and
Right.
like
Yeah.
get everybody out of the way, and he can do
we
what
in
he
the
wants.
storyline, we don't know that he's done this.
Right,
yet.
but I'm just saying, up till this point, he is just like, okay, he is clearly going to help Johnny at some point because he doesn't want any part of this, is the
Right.
way they're presenting his character. But
yeah, he just
so-
stands in the middle like, whoo,
Yeah,
bother.
everyone gets shot.
Yeah, but it turns out Mario lived. Like he was still kind of twitching when they're like, haha, job's done later. And cut to Mario's in the hospital and Nancy visiting him, and he's like, that's when he's like, get Johnny. So that's what prompts the
Get him
meeting
out of
where
jail
he
thing.
actually like get him out of jail and all that stuff and meet him one more time. So bring Johnny to the hospital room, and he's basically like, all right, what is it you really want? He's like, I want a place of my own. I want a house and land that nobody can take from me. And, maybe that $100,000 that I asked for earlier. And he's like, I'll get you the land, $100,000 yours. Just fucking go kill them all. And it's like, and then he's like,
Once again, he's like, I'll think about it,
I'm
Mario."
gonna think about it. And he's like, well, just so you know, like he's the one that gives the speech, I believe, of like we're doing the legitimate stuff now. And because he's like,
he's like, we were only running the numbers. We never did any of that other shit.
we didn't do the drugs and stuff, and like this is going to hurt your people, and doesn't get called out for that, but but like he's just like, well, you make some good points, but still I'm going to think about it, and then
Which he proceeds to just stand around thinking about it in the room.
the way the cut is, it looks like he has just been standing there, but I think what has happened is like he did go away because
In theory,
Because-
something has happened to Nancy.
Yeah, the last thing he says is like, well, you know where to find me. Just talk to Nancy, even though you know where I am. I'm in the freaking hospital.
Yeah, because
dying.
Nancy goes to the parking lot and then is
Picked up by one of the mini Lincoln Continental limos that everybody has.
and just drives off. And then you cut back to the hospital room, and they're just like, I can't believe they've got Nancy. I hope she's okay. And then Nancy calls them in the hospital room, and she's clearly fine. And she's just like, oh, you wouldn't believe what they made me do. And Fred Williams is like, they made you do that?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's all the information we get there. And then she hangs up, and she's in bed with Roddy McDowell. Mm-hmm. Like, literally. She's in bed with Roddy McDowell.
Again, later we find out like that she told him that Roddy McDowell beat her up and raped her.
Right.
But we find that out much later.
Yeah.
But
That's
there's two things that confuse the hell out of me in this movie, and this is one of them, and I'll explain the other one later when we get to it. Mario, who can't hear the phone conversation, can barely talk, seems like he is behind this fake kidnapping or whatever of her, because immediately he just goes like, they did what? Are you okay now? Just be cool. I will get you. Hangs up the phone, and Mario's like, oh yeah, so you'll do it for love, huh? And it's like, well, how do you know what? Like,
Yeah,
it's
there's a lot of jumping to conclusions, Matt,
Yeah.
in this.
but so like he's kind of in now. He's just like, all right,
So of all the entire, we're an hour into this movie at this point, and all the things that they've tried to motivate him, like his own well-being, have a job, not be a bum, not be a fucking hobo, just do this, and then you can have your own thing. None of it is stuck. But then he hears whatever he hears on the phone from Nancy, and he's like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Time to Fred Williamson myself up and totally become Murder Man.
Yeah. Mario gives him an envelope with $10,000 and the address of where to go to get the hardware. So we see another montage. This movie's littered with montages, but another montage where he's buying a car
Buys a car.
from a dude. It's another Continental, I believe. Then, just like he drives off and don't really know where he's going. I guess he goes to get the guns, but like the first time we see him emerge, he's coming. We see like people milling about the flower shop, like, oh man, we need to be on guard, and then he just like is standing across the street.
He appears from the other side of a post
Yeah,
or
just like
something.
he walks like around the telephone pole, like wearing this like. It's a horrible hitman suit. It's a cool ass suit. It's horrible
Right.
for hitmen because it's like this like white linen suit, and it's like
blue shirt and
pinstripes, and he
tie.
got a
Yeah.
blue shirt and tie.
yeah.
And he is just walking slowly straight to camera.
Is he wearing a hat this time?
No.
Maybe my brain just filled in a hat because he would
Yeah.
look good in a white hat in this instance.
Yeah.
But he just walks over and eventually undoes his jacket to reveal a gun.
Yeah,
Pulls
He's
the
got like
gun
a
out.
Yeah.
a pearl handled.
Yeah,
Pistol.
it's actually pretty fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like it's a pearl handle pistol. It's all silver inlaid, and it's got a tiny silencer or suppressor that shouldn't work like it does, but
Right.
it's a '70s movie,
It's
so
right 70s movie,
But-
so it goes pew.
yeah. So like for whatever reason, to his luck, because like I don't think he was really equipped to handle this at first. Like two of the guys are like, I'm gonna go in the back and do things and leave one guy like playing solitaire. So he walks in, and that guy like he just very slowly like takes out and raises his gun to this guy's like, what flower customer, and then like, oh shit, and then we get the good like noise as he shoots this dude, and then disappears because the other guy like walks out.
Because they walk out like, oh, Jesus, God, no.
So like the one dude, they're like, because one of them is the son. It's not the Roddy McDowell's brother, basically.
Yes.
And the other one is like, go out front and see if he got away, and leaving the brother inside, or the other son, however you wanted to call him.
Yes.
And Fred Williams somehow magically like
Appears from where they came from.
out from, yeah, and like from behind the curtain, and whips this guy as well.
Kills that guy too. And then escapes somehow because the other guy comes back in and is just like, oh my dear God. And
This
then the
guy's reaction is pretty great.
Yeah. And then the old man shows up and he's just like, you've been loyal to me, but you fucked this up and you probably did this yourself. I don't know. There's no time for this.
Yeah. Anyway, fall on your sword.
Destroy yourself.
I know.
He tells it that is how he puts it. He says, "Destroy yourself. Use your own gun."
That is some dark ass shit to
Arrivederci.
say to somebody. Destroy yourself.
Destroy yourself.
Fucking hell.
He's like, "What? You want me to go get wasted? The gun.
Go get wrecked.
destroy yourself.
Destroy yourself. And he does.
Yeah.
This guy just stares a hole in him and he then puts a bullet hole in his head.
Yep.
Yep. Johnny changes clothes and goes and does something else.
Yeah, I think it's no. Okay, yeah.
I mean, from here, he's just killing a bunch of mafia dudes.
Yeah, but it's not that many stops. Like
Yeah.
I think it's just like
He goes to the house.
to the house.
He kidnaps the delivery guy driver.
No, that's later. Like that's the very last thing I believe.
Yeah, because
Because
what
he
he
takes
does
out
next
Roddy-
is he kills
Who can
Roddy
tell?
McDowell next.
He takes out Roddy McDowell next. He's basically going in like not quite line of succession. He's taking out the kids and then the father last. But
Okay, yeah.
because,
Roddy
like,
McDowell goes and gets on a boat.
yeah, because like there's when the first son is killed, the dad is like, that's it. Like we can't handle this dude. Call in the armor.
Right.
And just makes this it's weird because like he's like just picking up the phone. It's like, I'm going to call in the armor, and the guy's like, some dude in the back is like, that's going to be expensive. Picks up and dials a number, to which some guy is just like standing in a payphone, like a phone booth, or nearby, because it's like one ring, and he's like, yeah, who is this? And it's like Don whatever Da Vinci, and he's like, oh okay, yeah, just deposit the money, I'll have it done.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Because he's getting we know that there's the double cross going on because we see Nancy in bed with Roddy McDowell. She is supposed to be delivering the address to where Roddy McDowell is going to be at this like tiki bar on the fucking highway or some shit. They have this meetup place. It's covered in like palm fronds and shit, and it's on this busy ass highway. But like we see the armor sitting in the car watching all of this because he's got his hand hanging out the window, and he just has like it's not a medical bracelet. It's like one of those gold chains with like the flat part. I don't know what the proper name is. It looks like a medical ID bracelet,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's like a fancy mafia-esque kind of thing. But it actually says like armor, like green room or some shit. I couldn't read what the bottom text said, but it just very clearly says armor the way he's holding his hand out the window, and it's just kind of funny. But we see Nancy walk out and like do this little nod, and then Fred Williamson walks out like a few seconds later, and this guy tries to run him over. To which there's like a little bit of rolling around and action stuff, and dude like tries to hit him twice with the car, including like hitting some random person's car, I believe,
Yes.
in the parking lot. And then that doesn't work, and he whips a ninja star, a shuriken at this guy, and like hits a tire, like out of fucking nowhere. It's just like,
fucking
oh,
shuriken.
okay,
Yeah.
and then the guy's like, well, that didn't work, so I'm out of here. Yeah. I guess he learned that ninja skill too, just fucking disappear. But yeah, Fred Williams is like pulls us out, like, what the fuck, a ninja star? Like,
Ninja star.
Okay.
Huh.
Seriously, who throws a ninja star?
But I guess he still has the info because, like, somehow he has a sixth sense, because there's been this conversation of Roddy McDowell basically being like, I think to Nancy, of like, this shit's getting a little real. This guy's too good. I'm heading down to Mexico for a few days. He doesn't know about you. I'm just going to disappear and lay low. Let this shit blow over, and then hopefully everybody will be dead, and we can take him out, and we'll fucking rule the world. So we, this is his plan. So I don't know how
This
Fred Williams.
motherfucker decides to take a boat to
Yeah.
Mexico.
Well, they are in California. It's
Yeah.
short. I mean,
they'll
also
be there by the next
also
day,
it's
so.
hard to be trailed in a car, but yeah.
Well,
And he's just like his whole thing is, I'm going down under deck and I'm going to sleep.
yeah, I'm tired.
You couldn't like
he must have been up for days on,
Yeah.
cocaine bender or whatever.
Yeah.
Up
But-
sniffing flowers.
Somehow Fred Williamson knows he's here because he is already on the yacht.
Oh yeah.
Like Roddy McDowell goes it's weird because he's
There's
like
the captain is plotting the course.
Well, he
Yeah.
says like we need to leave right away. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be here for very long.
Yeah, and it cuts to make you think like, oh, they're at sea. But no.
But also the captain is like, well, do you have the charts?
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right, so this is going to be a boat intrigue movie for a little bit. Like,
Nope.
did you bring who brought the charts?
The hunt for Rod October.
There you go. So yeah, they cut to like under deck, or in like the cabin area, and I didn't even realize it was the captain. It just kind of the way it sort of dissolves from one scene to the next. You think that time has passed,
Right, yeah.
But apparently, it's just like
Yeah, boats
40
still
seconds
moored.
5
later.
minutes have passed.
yeah,
The
maybe
boat's
5
still,
minutes.
still in the harbor,
And this captain is sitting there at the table with the charts all
charts.
laid out, and he's got a compass, and it's just
He's
like
not
spinning
doing it all. He's just going like
he's just spinning it
loop?
back and forth.
Okay,
like,
what about if I go loop the other way? Huh,
Yeah.
it's the same
It's like
amount
he's
of
playing
distance.
with a spirograph.
Yeah.
right? Exactly.
Check
And
out this design,
Then
man.
he pulls out the ruler, and he's like, "Oh, what about the ruler and the compass? Oh, those kind of look
Hey,
like
why
he's
do they call this a compass and this other thing a compass too? That's confusing. I shouldn't be doing
These
boats.
two different tools are called a compass.
man. I shouldn't have
Man.
bought that captain's hat. I'm not a captain at all.
How could two things encompass the same thing? Oh shit!
Oh no, 3." But he's like, it's like if you're like making the legs of the compass dance back and forth like they're legs. It's
Yeah.
just so
But-
goofy.
Yeah, Fred Williamson emerges behind him, now wielding. I don't know if it's the same gun.
It's the same gun,
Okay,
yeah.
just minus the silencer.
Yep. Right.
And then just like sees this guy and just is like, pip, and just whacks him in the head.
Backhands him in the nose
Mm-hmm.
with the gun, which has it's a movie, so it knocks him out.
Yeah.
It makes a real good conch sound
Yeah.
too. It's dang.
So that guy's out, and then I guess Roddy McDowell's done with his nap or something because I don't think anything awakes.
No,
awakens.
he gets awakened by getting a pillow to the face.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry. Yes,
But Fred Williamson doesn't really commit to it.
no, he's just
I think
like,
he's just doing that to wake him up.
it seemed like he was going to do the pillow, use that as the silencer, but he doesn't. He just like tries to briefly go for the smother,
Yeah.
and doesn't smother the brother.
he doesn't.
I think
smother
that's
the
just
brother.
I think that's just a wake up maneuver. Like, aha, you have
Yes.
been awoken by your near death. Now here's
the
your
worst
real
way to
death.
wake
Oh,
up.
that's pillow talk. Okay.
Yes,
All right. I was wondering what that was.
you've been doing it wrong this whole time.
Yeah. He takes him up.
Yeah, he just takes him up in his boxer shorts, and he's like, "What happened to Bob over here, Captain Bob? Oh shit! And, oh man!" And I don't really understand this, but like, he's gonna just feed him to the fishes, like literally, because he's just wearing boxers, and he's like pulls out or he reaches over. It's like a fish scaling knife that just happens to be sitting on the deck, and like grabs that, and he's like, "What are you gonna do?" And then he slices his leg or some facsimile thereof. If it's his real leg, it's a hairy ass goddamn leg that Roddy
It's not
McDowell
his
is.
real
There is a prosthesis of some sort.
Sure, but they
It's a ham hock with some hair glued on it.
I think it was
Yeah.
like leftover props from Planet of the Apes because it just looked like his fucking ape leg. Like it's this hairy ass shit. that
It's
he-
like fucking Beavis and Butthead cutting their hair off and pasting it to their face. It's that quality
Yeah.
of hair makeup.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
But anyway, he slices his leg and then it's just like jump into the water, and he's like, "No, I can't swim." He's like, "Jump," because he cocks the gun, and then Roddy McDowell jumps and is immediately dead. Like they're in the harbor.
Well, yeah.
And then he bobs for a second, like, I can't
I
swim.
can't swim.
But then cut to like the Don Da Vinci is like, both my sons are dead, and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
And then this is when Fred Williamson kidnaps the delivery guy. And
goes back to the flower shop. Takes
he's
this
like,
guy
"Where's
hostage.
Da Vinci?" And he's
He's like,
like,
"Is he in there?" And he's like, "No, he's actually at his house. I'm
going
just,
to pick up.
I'm just taking some flowers to him now." And he's
Yeah.
like, "Convenient.
Right.
Drive me there."
Mm-hmm. So he does.
I don't understand this plan at all because he's dual wielding double barrel shotguns.
Mm-hmm.
What's bad about that idea?
Well, because how do you know 4 guys were going to be there and like he's going to make every shot? Like,
He's Johnny Barrows.
Yeah, he's
okay,
mean
he's
Johnny Barrows.
Johnny double barrels.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, because like 2 dudes, not the dad, like open up the back of the van and both get shotgun blasted, and that's when we're presented that he's because we saw the one because he took the delivery driver hostage, but we didn't know he had 2.
Yes.
I honestly really like this series of shots. Like the doors open and then we get a shot of a barrel, a double barrel,
It cuts
and then
to
we
a
get
different barrel.
It cuts to a different barrel. It's
Yeah.
very obviously a different barrel, and then like both guys get shot immediately after
Well,
that.
I love the reactions of both guys. They open the door and they show it from Fred Williamson's point of view, where the guy's like, "Oh shit!"
It's that man.
and they
Bolt.
get yeah, and they get wrecked.
They do get wrecked.
They should have bolted. It's that man. Bolt.
And then the last 2 guys are in the garage fucking around with some flowers.
Oh, they definitely heard this. I mean, they're just
Oh,
like,
well, sure.
They're just like, "Oh no!" And kind of like go diving for something. I don't
Yeah.
know if they were gonna throw thorns.
Well,
at
they
him. I
both
don't
start
know.
shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Like right before that, these guys are just like these mafioso-looking dudes, and they got their shirts all unbuttoned, and
Yeah.
they look like fucking sweaty goombas in here. And they're just like throwing like a handful of crack or whatever, handful of drugs with a capital D into these boxes. Like 1 flower, 1 drugs, 1 flower, 1 drugs, 1 flower, 2 drugs. We'll put a box on it. Go. Just it's a simple thing, but the way these guys are just fucking around in the background when they drive up is amusing to me.
Yeah, but he shot like one guy's just out in the open, like shooting, and I think the Don dives behind a curtain.
Yes.
Yeah.
and then he just shoots
I'd
the
be
one guy
honest.
that's like obvious, and then it's just like,
Well,
I don't know, Fred
he's behind that
Williamson.
curtain.
Never
Did
mind.
you
never,
say Fred Williamson?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, nice.
Yeah, he just shoots through the curtain, and then we see in slow motion the Don like fall out, like, and then he like casually walks up. Like, I also, by the way, I don't know what happened to the flower delivery guy. Like, he just,
He's fine.
I guess he
He-
just like
he
got out of the
probably
van. and was
arguing
just like,
NOFT.
Yeah, but he just walks over and pulls out a hip flask, and they're like, "This is a weird time for a drink," but it's apparently like 150 proof or above or whatever. But like he just starts like setting this shit on, like he douses it the flowers, and then says something like, "This is for Don."
Oh, rest in peace,
Raconteur or whatever. his name
Don
is.
Da Vinci.
This is for Don Raccoon City.
Yeah, and just leave.
He also he gently pokes around the flowers for a while. It's
Oh,
almost
he-
like
that's
I'm
right.
gonna
Yeah.
smash the drugs out of these things, but we never really see any drugs.
No,
Well, there's some stuff that's flying out of the
There's some
boxes.
stuff,
and
but
he's
the movie
kinda-
never does a good job of saying, okay, he's like,
yeah, they were smuggling the drugs in the flowers.
yeah, it seems like he's like, I'm gonna beat the drugs out of you flowers, and then it's just like he just kind of stops poking at them for no real reason and just throws the guns down. So, but yeah.
Yep.
And then it's just he's driving, and the dude with the gold bracelet is waiting for him in an intersection somewhere and just starts following him, to which we never see this from Fred Williamson's point of view, but at some point Fred Williamson is like, oh, I'm being followed. I need to drive off in a different direction.
Yeah.
And so he drives.
Doesn't do it well.
No.
like it's one of those like dirt roads that goes off almost the opposite direction. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like a more than a
Yeah, no, he
90
misses
degree
it
turn.
when he first tries to turn and has to back up
Yeah,
and
he
then turn.
drives into the cliff.
Yes. But eventually just gets to what looks like a designated parking area
It looks like a scenic outlook or
Yeah.
overlook. Yeah.
and just gets out and just like, I'll go hide over here.
Yeah.
And then the other guy gets out of the
Again,
car.
still wearing it's different, but he's wearing like all white. I think this is his white turtleneck that
Yes.
he's wearing. But again, like all of these outfits are like real bad for the line of work you're in.
For stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hiding in the bushes in his white turtleneck.
Yeah, and basically as the armor goes walking by, he like grabs his arm and spins him around. It's just like, you, Captain Shitface from the earlier part of the
It's
movie.
O'Malley.
O'Malley,
Yep.
sure. And it's just like, you, and he's like, oh, you.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I guess
then it's
the other
like-
guy knew it was him. So
Right. Yeah, and then it's, hey, we're both ninjas.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It becomes we just watched Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of wah. And
Well, Fred Williamson even tries to do the like jump up and jump on the chest move. Like it's so like half-assed Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, I don't know who choreographed a fight, but it leaves something to be desired.
I do like when O'Malley is going for a follow-up punch, and Fred Williamson basically just kind of hisses at him to get him to stop, and it works. O'Malley just goes, "Whoa!"
Well, O'Malley also got a
shit, maybe he's a snake.
O'Malley got a real solid dick hit on Fred Williamson.
Oh, yeah.
It,
Punched
that
him
was
right
like
in the
his
dick.
second shot was
Yeah.
right in the.
Yeah, he does not
Right
fight
in
with
the
honor.
right in Bucktown.
This is why he's mean. But yeah, Fred Williamson ends this fight by remembering he has a ninja star in his pocket. Even though he's changed his suit like 3 times since that's happened.
Hey man,
I
you
mean-
find a random ninja star, like you can just
Probably
get
hang on to
ninja
it.
stars in 1975.
It's true. Like there weren't that many state fairs.
That's true. Yeah.
They didn't have that Bud K catalog in 75 that you could order a,
He's like, man, this is rare. This is like shark's teeth. I'm going to hang on to this.
Although the one that we saw when he was pulling it out of the tire was the most dull thing on the planet.
Well, it's not so dull to where it doesn't pierce this man in the neck.
O'Malley was going to murder him with a rock.
Yes.
He had him down on the ground,
Yeah.
and then he's just like, "Oh yeah, shuriken." You know what beats rock? Ninja star.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then so that guy's dead, and he's like calls up Nancy.
Like,
I
hey,
guess.
Nancy, it's all
Hey,
done.
girl.
Yeah.
Time for us to be together.
I'm going to show you the land that I was given. And then, all right. So this is about to be where I have another problem with this. I'm going to explain the scene, and then I will backtrack to where I have the other problem. Sort of like it seemed like the false red herring of Mario knowing, setting up the fake kidnapping and all that bullshit. But okay, so he pulls up, and I think they both pull up in their own cars. He takes Nancy, and he's like sort of escorting her by the arm, and she starts like up the hill. And he's like, "Whoa, not that way, baby. Come over here," and then takes her all the way up the hill. And this is where my brain went. Is he taking her to the fucking landmine place from earlier in the movie? Like, that's just when he did that like redirect thing. That's the first thing that popped in my head.
I was like, no, it can't be the
It
same
can't,
place.
like-
They can't have been in the Army in California,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know.
Well, then they would just somewhere on a hiking trail just plant a bunch of live mines.
Right.
In California, that's just not walled off or anything. It's just like anyone could go there.
I don't know, but that
Or maybe he just planted a landmine himself.
that's
because-
what
No.
I'm about to get to. Okay,
No.
okay, that's hold on. So he diverts her. They just walk up, and it's like, see, I guess this is what I wanted, but it doesn't feel right because
He
I
turns his back on her and starts monologuing.
he does out to the valley that he's now inherited, I guess, and it's just like, well, this is mine now, and I just don't feel right because I had to murder to get it. But this is what you wanted, and if this is what you wanted, then it's what I want. And goes in for a kiss, and then she's of course like,
Bang.
blam, shoot him in the stomach, and he's just like, what?
I did
Why?
not see this coming.
Yeah, it takes him a while. She shoots him another time, and then he's like kind of writhing on the ground, and he just kind of sits up and goes, "Why?"
Yeah.
And then
it's
she
like,
just-
wow,
she
really?
explains the whole thing, like, yeah, I was sleeping with Roddy McDowell, but you shot him, and fuck you.
Yeah, you killed my man.
Yeah, now you die, idiot.
Yeah,
And then
so long, sucker.
yeah, and then he like doesn't. He never like we never fully see him die. He's still just like on one knee.
Yeah,
like,
he's writhing around, but it kind of sounds like he's laughing at one point because you're just not sure, and you can't really see him through the bushes.
yeah, for a second, and then she's just like, "Well, job's done here." Takes about 3 feet the opposite direction, and click, steps on a landmine, and then
Yep.
the camera starts like pulling out, like we're done with this shit, and then there's just a close up, like I think it's the same shot from the other mine going off earlier because they only had budget for one explosion, but you never actually see like Nancy go into bits or anything like that. It's just like it's implied that there's an
Yeah, they
explosion,
never blow up a dummy.
and then it just like it just pulls out.
Okay. The second that this landmine explodes, they freeze it and then put up the film's final disclaimer.
Yeah, well, I don't know,
Which
if
was read at the beginning of this episode.
yeah, I don't know if it's a disclaimer. I mean, it's
Well, it's
No.
it's a statement.
yeah,
Statement.
Yes,
Yeah.
See
the
also-
movie was dedicated to the proud Mujahideen fighters.
Right. Dedicated to the veteran who traded his place on the front line for a place on the unemployment line. Peace is hell.
which was like part of the chorus, I guess,
Yeah.
in the Stargrove song.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more like a coda because it's like at the very end they just like repeat it and then it starts like slowly.
Thing is, like, that coda works better if you haven't had the goofy 10 minutes you've just had with the guys doing the Enter the Dragon fight. And
Yes, yes. Now this is the other thing that really this is the one that truly breaks my brain on the movie. Okay,
Yeah.
if Fred Williamson, did he know that she was in this all along and planted the landmine?
No.
Okay, so he just was like, I've gotten this land. I'm going to go out and plant some landmines because that's what I do.
Nope.
Maybe
At most, what happened was he knew there were possibly landmines there. He steered her away from them when they went up, and then she walked off in the opposite direction after shooting him, and stepped on a landmine. He didn't plan any of this.
1 + 2 + 1 + 1. That's how it could have happened, but this is how it really happened. He knew that she might betray him. So the land that he got, he planted landmines on.
Yeah,
he knew where the landmines were, so he led her up there onto the bluff of blow up. And if she betrayed him, she wouldn't be able to be led back down the hill safely. But if she hadn't betrayed him, then he could lead her back down the hill safely, and she wouldn't die to a landmine explosion.
I think
It was a dead man's bluff.
I think at
on
most
counts.
It was also a dead man and dead woman's bluff.
I think at most he knew he inherited land that was littered with landmines.
No.
At most,
Nobody is selling you landmine.
I'm just saying. At most, he knew that there was
Does
possibly
this
a
sound
landmine
like a landmine vineyard
on
like
this
you're
land.
trying to grow some landmine trees.
But his reaction to when he gets shot, he had no idea.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what breaks my brain. There's no reason for this landmine to be here unless he put it there. And that's what I'm getting at. And I'm kind of buying BJ's explanation of like which path do I take depending on how this turns out. Because maybe he just was like, maybe she's in on it, but she's not going to shoot me. You know, like, which is dumb. But I just want to say, like, you know, the land was his. And as he would say, the land is mine. So this is how he protects his
I
own
think you
property.
guys are giving this movie too much credit.
Well, in the live stream chat, Bill says that I'm 100% correct. And as we know, Bill is,
No, you're both wrong.
Bill is not law. It's the step before. I'm sorry.
Johnny Barrows is dumb. At the
I
end of
watched
this, he
that
is dumb.
one.
He is just like, okay, Nancy, it's you and me, and oh no, you betrayed me.
I mean, as soon as I heard the click of the landmine, I'd expected like him to pull off a fucking FX like, you know, bulletproof vest with squibs and shit, and just be like, "Haha, gotcha, bitch."
Oh, I thought he was going to have a bulletproof vest. And
Sure.
the way that you end this movie is with him like pulling off the bulletproof vest. Like,
Sure.
Now that you've written yourself into this stupid corner, that's how you get out.
Yeah.
But
That's
why I choose to think that he was prepared for the betrayal and she was going to die anyway.
I'm
he
saying
knew he was possibly going to die.
he did not get land that was pre-landmined. No way. No way.
it was mob
Yes.
land.
The only fucking place that has landmines in America are fucking army bases. Like, I mean, like, that's it. Like, there aren't just random places. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, maybe there's some preppers that have gotten their hands on some landmines and put them out on their fucking, you know, compound. But I'm saying, like, there is not a fucking scenic valley in California that just randomly has fucking landmines. No. Like, no, they don't even have fucking plastic straws anymore. They don't have landmines, Chuck. They're ahead of the curve. Like,
It's a bad ending.
okay, sure.
Well, yes,
I'm saying,
so say we all, but
but I mean, he definitely had to put the landmines there. Be it a premeditated path of did she betray me or not? I don't know.
I'm
But-
just going to agree to disagree.
Okay.
There's no way I'm going to concede that
When?
he put the fucking landmine.
When?
I don't know.
When?
I don't know if he killed the captain and immediately called Nancy, or if he was like, "Well, I went back to Mario and was like, where's my land? You know, the job's done." I don't know.
Robert in the chat says, "What if the captain planted the mine?"
Maybe that's kind of his MO to just put fucking random live mines where they shouldn't be.
He was
sure.
already dead.
is that where he was fighting the captain?
But again, the captain wouldn't have known they were going to end up there. Like, there's
but
no
the
way.
captain knew that he had gotten that land.
Maybe. How?
It's a bad ending.
Okay.
It
So
ends
he got
badly.
there
It's
before the
bad.
health inspector could get there.
Sure. Yeah. to demine it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I found a couple things on your inspection
your
report.
home inspector.
D minus.
He's like, you were doing all right till I found the landmines.
I
out
mean,
back.
normally a home inspection's about $200. I'm going to have to charge you $4 because we lost one of our inspectors.
1 or 2 landmines I can pass you. No problem. I can shuffle that paperwork around. But
But
you got
old
like
Frank,
50 of them out here.
Frankie ain't never walking right
Yeah.
again.
I mean, I'm just going
You
to
and
tell
your
you.
fucking landmines. What kind of place are you buying here?
Your grass has chinch bugs, but that's the least of your problems. You've got fucking landmines. The place is lousy with landmines.
Yeah, if you don't treat those now, they're just going to show up all over the lawn.
I can't take 2 steps without stepping on a landmine. And Vinny over here, he can't take 2 steps at all. You can only hop.
Oh, man.
This
I don't
land
know.
is your mine. This land is my mine.
Yeah, I don't know. It's over now. But most definitely,
Yeah.
the highest of Stargrove awards goes
Yes.
to this weird ass movie.
Yeah.
Like so much so that if it wasn't set after nearly 500 episodes, I would have to advocate for changing the name of it somehow.
Call it the Silver Star.
Yeah, the Silver Stargrove.
Silver Star.
Silver-
Holy shit, that's a higher tier. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, there we go.
All
Silver
right.
Stargrove
Good
special award.
job.
I'll note it.
Man.
I'll note it in the log.
I think we're just going to agree that this is a bad ending.
Sure,
Right?
We'll go
Okay.
with that. Okay.
It is.
Making sure.
It does not end. What?
I like it.
Mackie is like slid ever and ever closer to like a fatalist sort of.
I like it.
Yeah. If everybody dies, he's
Yeah.
happy.
Okay.
It is. It's a happy ending. Everyone's dead. They're all at peace. Because they're all dead.
Let's do the Romeo and Juliet ending. Doodaloo, doodaloo.
Right. Let's rate it.
Oh man, this is a tough rating because I really enjoyed talking about this one.
Did you enjoy watching it though?
Not really.
All right.
I really enjoy the second half. I think, and it's interesting in that it's a Fred Williamson movie where he directs, where he is in barely any way wanting to make his character look good. Because his character gets shit on through the first half of the movie, and he's kind of just like, he just comes off as a loser. And it's like, okay, he has this principles where he's not going to work for the mob, he's not going to kill for money, and that sort of stuff. And then eventually he's just like, yeah, but I'll do it anyway. And then just goes out like a chump.
Well,
and
he did it all for the nookie.
Yeah.
The what? The nookie.
He didn't.
Oh, I mean, well, in his mind, that's what he was doing it for. That's what persuaded him. It was Nancy getting kidnapped. That is what put him on board with the
but
murder.
even that, like that whole Nancy thing, that doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
No sense whatsoever.
Not at all.
But but there's just so much that I enjoy about this movie. Like basically the mob boss being like the dude who keeps asking him out, and he's like, nah,
I don't think I can. Not right now.
yeah, I got jury duty.
Yeah.
I'm busy on Friday. Just like every excuse, and he's not like picking up on. You need to stop asking him. There's a certain point where you're just a stalker now. Like you're coming to his workplace and you're like yelling at his boss.
Yeah, that's not right. You shouldn't do that.
But still, I'm going 3 jocks.
Wow.
It's just okay. Here's the thing about this too.
Okay.
Of like the majority of the blaxploitation movies we've watched, this one I can most clearly see the stuff that Quentin Tarantino has stolen from
Yeah.
in this movie. And also like Fred Williamson uses zooms to end shots like he invented it. He's just like he's got a fucking patent on it, and he's like, nobody else is going to do this now because man, he ends at least 30 scenes with a slow zoom in on like a trash can, and then like he did a match cut with a trash can.
There are
and-
several actually excellent match cuts in this.
Yeah,
movie.
there are good match cuts in it, but
Then
he tries
there-
a split screen
but
with
there's
2
several-
phones being hung up at the same time.
yeah, but
and-
there's a lot of ones where it's like, all right, like we get it, it's your first movie.
Sure, but
You know?
also there's excellent match cuts and some good dissolves besides the on top of each other dissolves that go on for too long. But then there are just like ones where there's a musical cue happening, hard cut, like it feels like a real split.
Yeah.
To no music and a quiet room and something unrelated.
Yeah.
It's very strange because
At least one of those seems like it's a
Maybe a
problem
glitch.
with the
Yeah.
film.
Could be.
like,
Could be.
because it also had some like screen glitch to it, and the music sounded a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of music being a little weird, a few times, like a scene, like an action scene, will come to an end, and we just get like orchestra tune-up music that just swells in over the funk, and then all of the
he's
music
doing
goes
that on
away.
purpose for
Yes, but I don't
something.
know why he chose like the tune-up song.
Yeah.
It's
the tune-up.
because at some point you've got to give up the funk.
never give up the funk.
Yeah, but we want it.
Yeah, I
So give
just
it up.
I think there's a lot of not good but interesting filmmaking going on in this one.
I would 100%
Yeah.
agree with that. There is some good filmmaking in this, and I don't know if we've watched anything else that's been directed by Fred Williamson.
No.
Or if anything else that
wasn't Original Gangsters him?
No,
Or,
that was
okay.
Larry Cohen.
Okay.
is there anything else that we might watch that I should stay away from?
That he
Chuck
directed?
Chuck
He
is not a
directed,
fan
yeah.
of his direction.
So he has directed over 20 films.
I saw that.
I don't think they ever get any better.
Well, I'm curious
I
to
just-
skip ahead to
yeah.
like film 3 or 4, just like maybe I've worked out some of the bugs.
He has done some 80s detective movies. I mean, he has done movies with all-star casts like Ice-T and Gary Busey and all that. We might jump to one of those.
Okay, so later on, after the podcast ends, let's try to remember to go over that list real quick, and you say no, don't watch this one, or this one.
You got it.
Because we're going to cover that.
Okay.
Or we can do that. Over
You can watch
text.
Vegas Vampires.
You don't think we're going to watch Vegas Vampires?
We are absolutely not watching Vegas Vampires.
Does it have keywords in it?
No, it's just crap.
Okay, all right.
We will be angry.
Well, don't show me
It
a
just
crap
sucks.
one.
Yeah, but
Mentioned in the chat the match cut with the gun and the hairdryer.
Yes.
Really good.
That is really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, like just as the guy is about to destroy himself.
Destroy himself.
Yeah, like you get like the briefest of the blam from the gun cut to is it Nancy?
It's
Nancy.
Nancy
Yeah,
with
well,
the
she's the
hairdryer
only
on
lady.
full blast.
That's the reveal of like she's in Roddy McDowell's house,
Yes.
bedroom, whatever, yacht. I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah,
That was good. Yeah, there is some like distinct style that he's obviously lifting off of others, but he's pulling some stuff off. Although, like I found the first half of this movie incredibly boring, for the most part, except for our occasional tussle or whatever. But I don't know if it's got enough good to kick it up to 3 jocks. I think I'm going to have to give it a jocks because it does some fun things. You should probably watch it, and it's Fred Williamson's directorial debut. So watch it for that. And
it's
random
definitely worth
ninja
watching
stars.
for the scene where he kills the Don, like when he comes out of the back of the van.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot like that. That to me is like a Tarantino scene.
Well, when
there's
he-
so much that he's picked up from that sequence.
When he becomes mean Johnny Barrows,
Yeah. The whole tone of the movie changes
yeah,
for one.
his tone changes. He becomes a
Yeah.
different character almost. So until he becomes an idiot in the last scene.
Right.
I can agree with 1 jocks. I would give it 1 jocks for. I think this movie is interesting for a lot of reasons that aren't necessarily tied to watching it. I think it's notable because it is his first movie. I think it's trying to do some interesting things. I don't think he had the chops at the time to pull off the direction. I find it admirable that for an hour 10, he is just a guy in denim outfit, unshaven and gross and not cool in any way.
Yeah, he doesn't do that like, I'm the director and the star,
Exactly.
so I'm immediately a badass that's just chopping people in half or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
So like there is no like star just that kind of just like I'm the star, I will look the best, I will be the most awesome, and I'm going to live at the end. Nothing like that. He's made out to be a total fucking idiot at the end.
There's no ego
Right.
for him.
Exactly. The soundtrack is the unsung hero of this movie. The soundtrack is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And it deserves a better film. Not that it's out of place in this, but this is the kind of thing that I kind of agree with how Tarantino is about certain pieces of music where it's just like they did not use that right. I can make that cooler somehow. I think the soundtrack in this should be used in something else and be made better.
yeah.
So,
Well, that one song's gonna be awfully hard to do.
well, sure, but all the instrumental
Yeah, I
parts of
know.
that same song
Yeah,
are
yeah.
great.
Exactly. Yeah, because it was a while before the lyrics version kicked in. Because
Yes.
I think it was like maybe the 3rd time it kicked in. I was like, I would just they can play this the whole movie. I would just
Yeah.
walk down the street listening to this, and then the lyrics kicked in. I'm like, okay, it's still good, but I liked the instrumental version better.
Yeah.
Especially when it gets to the weird end, like the pieces, hell, hell, pieces. That's just weird. Yeah, I'm gonna side on the 3 jocks side, actually myself. There is something
Yeah.
incredibly watchable about this movie, and even when it doesn't succeed, I really, really, really like what he's trying to do. He's trying to elevate the directing of this genre in a way that I don't think any of the other ones we've watched have even remotely tried. I don't know if I was just more keenly aware of it, or maybe it's because it wasn't always doing it how I would have done it. You know, I was just like, there were things I was like, that's really good, but man, you blew that. Like during the opening sequence, during the fight and the whole like put the pin in the landmine thing, you know, let's put a pin in this, and but it's like he's got his name tag and it says Johnny Barrows on it. It I don't know why it would say mean, except unless like I'm just saying like there was a perfect chance for you to like zoom in on that, see his name tag, and then like freeze frame, throw the mean on there, and like that's your fucking title card. Yeah. Like I love good use of in movie title cards, like as long as it's not just like, look, I'm suddenly pulling out the title card, huh? You know, like that's
hard ticket to Hawaii. Yeah. Write it on all the crates.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a huge fan of doing that and doing that well, and he had a perfect opportunity to do it there. I get why he waited for the opening credits until after that scene, but that was a great chance. Yeah, I just appreciate what he's doing, even if he's not succeeding in all these. I mean, even trying match cuts in a blaxploitation movie or whatever this is. I mean, it is because it's him.
Crime drama.
You know, I mean,
I would go as far as to say it's not. It's kind really of a blaxploitation movie.
I mean, other than the blatant racism and like having to overcome that and all of that stuff, like the racist cops kind of put this in
really
motion.
just a mob movie.
But I mean, like but racism is what sets the wheels in motion. I mean, because it gets him kicked out of the army. It probably got him kicked out of college because, I'm sure it was somebody's like, white daughter or whatever.
I agree with that.
Whatever bullshit,
just,
thing. I mean, it's just implied of like, it's, because why would sleeping with a lady get you kicked out of college otherwise?
Because it's a white lady.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's implied. I mean, the fact that he's immediately hot for Nancy, I mean, besides the fact that she's an attractive woman, it's like, it implies a type.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, it's racism is what starts the plot, and then it pivots from there, sort of to like, do I really want to do this? Like, give up what I stand for to potentially earn money and maybe get what I actually want. And of course, that goes horribly, as the plot summary said.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked it.
Cool.
Well, let's take a break, shall we?
Okie dokie. I got lost looking at trying to find who wrote these songs. Paul Reiser wrote "Strung Out," which was one of the tunes, and
Paul Reiser.
Yeah, not that Paul Reiser.
He was in Aliens.
But this Paul Reiser did co-write "What Becomes of the Brokenhearted." That's where most of his credits come from, because that has been in a lot of things.
You always were an asshole, Gordon.
It's his only. The guy credited with most of the soundtrack, Gordon Staples. It's his only soundtrack credit. Like, there's nothing else on
Gordon
IMDb
Staples
for him.
is the singer, which is like, or the person who performed the music. Somebody else wrote it. I think Coleridge Taylor Perkinson is possibly who wrote the other one.
It looks like the whole album is on YouTube. So.
Oh, nice. So we can find out.
Well, does anyone need to like take a proper break, or should we get right to it?
I got no reason to break, and I got nothing for the second half.
I've got a thing or two I can mention.
I just have finishing up Sabrina,
I got nothing.
which I can talk about for a few minutes. Well, I think I'll say the same thing as I said last week.
I mean, I watched a new movie that nobody's talked about, and a movie that has only gotten talked about once. That I was.
Well,
Just
By us, I mean.
Someone talked about
let's
this movie
get it on.
once.
Let me fix this thing down here to be the right thing. There, it's the right thing.
Yay!
Second half thing.
You did the right thing.
Did you give it the Chiron touch?
Chiron touch.
Here comes the echo clap. All right, and welcome back.
Hey, BMFcast, second half.
Second half.
Indeed. So I think I watched the newest movie.
You may have watched the only movie.
Oh, okay.
No movies ever. Just one.
All right, let me back up just half a second before I reveal what the movie is, and just give you a disclaimer that I knew basically nothing about this movie other than like a couple posters, and I think I saw a brief like thing on TV in the background. This is a movie that I felt was wildly missold.
Okay.
Wildly missold.
Yeah.
I watched Lucy in the Sky, the Natalie Portman, what I thought was going to be a space movie.
Right.
Is it about the Beatles instead?
No.
No.
Is it about the Beatles in space?
It's not.
Okay.
Do you remember 10 years ago? A little more than that, I think. I looked it up. I think it was like around 2007. Do you remember the story about astronaut lady doing a crazy thing, like driving
Yes.
across the country?
Oh, yeah, wore the
diaper
diaper.
wearing lady.
That's what it's about. It's not exactly about
Okay.
her. It's
I know that diaper lady.
It's yeah. It's not directly like we got the rights to tell this story. It is basically highly inspired by that. So
Okay.
while it begins the movie as a space movie, it very quickly becomes a not space movie at all.
Yeah, the trailer is highly deceptive.
Yeah. And okay, so again, a lot of times the less I know about a movie, the better. I feel like in this case, if I'd done a tiny amount of research, I might have been more in the right mind frame for this movie.
Well, if you're going in for a space movie and instead you get crazy diaper lady movie, then yeah.
Diapers weren't mentioned, and actually
Well,
that's been disputed about whether the real person did that or not.
Right.
Anyway, but I don't think it's a bad movie. I just think it was a thing that like I was not prepared for, and even knowing who directed the movie, I might have been more prepared for it. It's Noah Hawley, I believe is how you say his name.
All right.
This is the first thing he's directed, but he's the producer on Legion and something else about
Fargo.
crazy people.
Fargo.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weird shit in Fargo, like a lot of crazy people. But yeah, this is basically like a let's watch somebody go crazy movie. And I didn't know that. I was expecting a space movie. I was like,
I did not know
there was a point where, you know, the movie does a lot of time jumpy stuff going all over the place, and you know, you never know if you're watching fact or fiction from point to point, or if you're watching something you didn't see from another point, because like suddenly it'll just cut to she's in space again, and it's like, well, is this from your actual mission that you went on, or are you imagining like going on another one, or what's happening right now? And it's just very weird. Like I said, I don't necessarily think it's bad. It's just it's a especially strange movie because it's like someone said, you know what's been wrong with like movies about crazy people is making them coherent, not crazy in and of themselves in the movie. Because like the first thing that came to mind, and it's not plot wise, it's not exactly the same, but I kept thinking of Monster, the Charlize Theron movie from a number of years back about the crazy lady, blah blah blah. You know, and that's a very paint by numbers, like that movie's strength is based on like her performance, more or less. Like otherwise, like that is a very straightforward like telling of a story that I think maybe was based somewhat on a real person too. I think.
was.
You know, so it's like everything about that is conventional, except like, you know, she turns in a good performance, and it's like, okay, now this is a thing we're talking about. This is like, well, we're gonna make the movie interesting. We're gonna make Natalie Portman like barely act in a lot of scenes. Like she, like one of her character traits is like just how unbelievably stoic she is. You know, so it's like you've just got her mostly just like not being fazed by stuff. Sort of very similar to Brad Pitt and Ad Astra, where it's just like, why did you hire this person who is very good at emoting and delivering emotions via their facial expressions and body expressions, you know, and then just make them like be in dire situations where their heart rate doesn't go above 80. You know, it's just like, if you're just fucking calm as a cucumber all the way, why did you hire this great actor? You know, it's just a weird thing to me. Yeah, I don't know. It's a trippy ass movie. And I mean, I kind of don't want to say anything else in case you do decide to watch it. Just know it's not a fucking space movie. That's the thing. Like, I don't think it would have ruined anything to just be like, hey, remember, you know, crazy diaper wearing astronaut lady driving cross country? This is kind of based on that. I'd be like, okay, that's enough. Like, tell me that, and then I will be prepared for what is about to happen. Instead of like expecting Gravity 2 or something, you know, like, you know, I mean, honestly, I thought it was like, it was going to be a like space drama. Like what happened? I was like, the movie begins and she's in space, and I'm like, yeah, all right, when's the shit go wrong? Like space is trying to kill you. You know, we know this. Like,
Yeah, it's impossible to live in space.
yeah, right. So I was just waiting for that, and it never came. Shit goes wrong on Earth.
So I can't tell. Do you recommend this movie?
I mean, I think it's worth checking out. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I watched a little bit of Fargo, and at the time, it wasn't grabbing me. And it was one of those things. Like, I was watching it, and I was like, I think I should be liking this more than I am. And it's sort of like Breaking Bad. The times I've decided not to watch it, I was like, I've heard too many good things about this to just watch this and not be enjoying it. Due to headspace or whatever. So I kind of bailed on Fargo and haven't watched a minute of Legion, despite again people telling me I should watch Legion. So I just think I was wildly unprepared for this movie. I also don't know if it's like something I want to go back to either. Like, I don't know that there was enough going on. Like, there's some trippy, interesting sequences, and yes, the Beatles song does come up at some point in time. Besides the fact that her name is Lucy.
Weird.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got a cast, like John Hamm's in it, and like some other people. Like, it's like there are people you're like, oh hey, you're in this. Like Zazie Beetz is in it, and like things I know shit about this movie. I saw Natalie Portman in a spacesuit and was like, fuck yeah, space movie, let's do this.
The trailer's so not that.
Yeah, I know.
The trailer's like, she's in space, and then maybe she has a problem with not being in space anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like supposed to be the crux of like why she's driven insane is like the desire to, like, space was the only thing that mattered, and get me back to space,
Please, just put me in space.
Yeah. Put me in space.
So she's like that. Is it Portal 2? The personality module from Portal 2?
Yep.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Space.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Put me in space.
I mean,
send me out the
yeah,
airlock.
watch it at your own. I was just trying to put it out there, like, say, like, just know what you're getting into. Like I said, I'm generally all about going in blind, but don't show me something about the movie and then like it just be totally different. It's sort of like I think I might have enjoyed Cold Pursuit more if someone had just said, "Hey, if you're expecting Taken in the snow, don't." Like, it's kind of wacky and sort of a comedy, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay," and then I probably would have enjoyed Cold Pursuit more. Like, that's it. They just like, "Hey, warn you, like, it's not Taken in snow."
Yeah.
Do you want me to go? I got another movie that might spark a discussions, and
Sure.
keep at least one other person
going.
saw it, and I think maybe really liked it. I watched The Dead Don't Die.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I told you weren't going to go nuts over it.
Well, no, like,
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I
that
get
is-
it.
That is a weird movie, and like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't. Like, there are aspects of it I think are brilliant and wonderful. Like Tilda Swinton in that movie, what she's doing is great, and it feels like from a completely different movie, from a completely different director.
Yep.
And I just don't know overall. Like, it's so not even glib. Glib's not the right word. I mean, maybe a little bit. It's just
It's laconic. It's just
yeah. They're just like, I don't know. Like, yeah, this sucks, I guess. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so slacker mentality that's like,
Yep.
it's a little over the top of that, like, meh, whatever thing.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, sure.
And it
obviously-
ends badly.
Yeah, they do warn you that a couple times. Yeah, I don't know. I totally agree with what you're saying. Like, I would watch more adventures of Adam Driver and Bill Murray, the cops, driving around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's just things about it. Like, there's things about it like I don't understand if they have a meaning or not. I think that's what bothers me the most about it.
Yes.
And I just don't know if it's like juxtaposition of jokes, like the cars that they drive, like that Adam Driver and Chloe Sevigny drive. It's like, I don't know if that's like supposed to be like a joke or something. Yeah,
Putting Adam Driver in a smart car is obviously a joke.
sure. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a weird one. I can't explain why I love it, but
oh, okay. I
it's
mean,
totally on my wavelength.
I have ones like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know how I feel about that one yet. I think I really like earlier ones of his movies better. Like, I feel like the laid backness. Like, as much as I mean, I think I've shit plenty on Johnny Depp over the years. Like, Dead Man, I really like. Like, that's I feel like one of the last times he actually fucking acted in a movie. You know, like, didn't
Yeah, it's
just
been
like
a while.
just like put on makeup and like do a thing. You know, I feel like that's one of the last times we saw like Johnny Depp the actor besides Johnny Depp the fucking character actor. you know, but yeah, I mean, like that is a movie that is very wildly divisive, and as I recall, another one that was wildly missold to a lot of people because it was in that realm of like Johnny Depp heartthrob. Now he's in a black and white cowboy movie. It's like, whoa, hold your horses.
Yeah, not so much.
Yeah, like this is very weird and dreamlike. Oh, backing up 1 second, only because I want to talk about dreamlike. I will say, Lucy in the Sky very quickly was like, I was also getting Tree of Life vibes because it's a whole lot of like long long takes and just like staring at space or trees or whatever, and like sometimes conversations happening from another scene still while you're watching this other thing. So if that kind of editing is your thing, you might like that too. But yeah, I don't know. Dead Don't Die. I would actually watch it again. Like I didn't watch it in like the best scenario. Like it was one I rented and like ended up watching on my iPad like on the go. So I mean that's not usually my preferred movie viewing experience. So
Yeah.
I just like it got interrupted a couple times and back up and try to follow along. But it's definitely one I think I need to give another shot because I didn't dislike it. It's a lot to take in. I think in one viewing.
I get it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I knew I'd had to put a huge disclaimer on that when I
Sure,
said that was my
sure.
favorite of the year because it's like just for me. Nobody else feels that way about that movie the way I do. So,
But yeah, I think that's what I've watched. I'm watching a show, but I'm going to wait till I'm done to talk about the whole season.
Well, speaking of being done with a show, I finished The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I hate that show, and I love that show. It is awful, and it's wonderful. I am, at the same time, every extreme on that show, with the exception of one thing, which is there's some really damn fine acting going on in that show. The guy who plays Father Blackwood is always 100% in his role, which is really good. And I don't remember at this point if it was late second season or early third season, but there's a point where her name was right in front of Kiernan Shipka. There's a point where Kiernan Shipka is doing two different things, and she actually, like, it's the first time I realized that she's acting for Sabrina, because it just kind of seemed like a very natural, like how she was portraying Sabrina seemed like super easy for her, and maybe that's not too much of a stretch for her to act in that way. But then she sort of turns on a completely different thing at one point in the season, and I was like, oh, holy shit, she's been acting the whole time, and she's acting now as well, and that's pretty damn good. Like, well done. And Ambrose, one of the cousin, I fucking love his portrayal of this character, and the way he speaks is always this bizarre sort of melange of exasperated and manic and like depressed and excited at the same time. It's just it's like he's always somewhat pained and exasperated and stupefied all at once. And his accent is really delicious, for lack of a better word. Like, it's just really nice to hear. But yeah, I there are points in time watching Chilling Adventures of Sabrina where I'm like, this is the dumbest trash I have ever fucking seen. I cannot wait to see the next episode.
Sounds great.
It's so weird, and I know it's like it's sort of like young adult fiction, that probably shouldn't appeal to me because I'm a 37-year-old man. But I find I find myself charmed by it. It works.
Riverdale was that for me, where I was just like simultaneously ashamed that I was mowing through it and also just wanting to mow through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that true definition of guilty pleasure show of like, I shouldn't be enjoying this, but fucking give me more.
Yeah.
And then that fucking musical episode.
So the trailer or teaser or whatever it was that they put out for season 3 of Sabrina, that like Queen of Hell thing, I was like, what the fuck direction are they going to go with this season? This is going to suck. If it's all this, if it's like this, it's going to be terrible. I'm going to quit 2 episodes in. Obviously did not. There are a few quasi-musical scenes in it that really don't work, though. Like, that's part of the actual trash of the show is there are...
So they didn't hire any better songwriters than they had for Riverdale, is what you're saying? Because that was the
They
other
didn't-
big thing is like all the songs fucking sucked ass too.
They had a maybe 1 or 2 originals that were fine.
Yeah.
They weren't great, but they weren't bad. The bad part is the sound mixing. So there are at least 2 separate scenes where some of the characters have started a garage band, and they're playing a song that you've heard before. I don't even remember what they are, but there are 2 songs that you've heard before. And not only are they kind of crappy versions, I think one is My Sharona, I think. But the sound mixing is so very odd. It sounds like a flat studio recording just laid on top of a live action scene. It doesn't have any roominess to it. It doesn't sound like they're playing actual instruments in a garage. It sounds like very crisp, clean recordings.
Yeah.
And every musical scene they have is like that. Like the voices sound disconnected from the
Yeah,
scenes.
no, I get that.
Yeah, and that really takes me right out of a scene when they do that. But other than that, it's absolute shit, and I love it. But I hate it, and it's the best.
Well, I thought of one other thing that I should probably mention, and I will preface this with that I absolutely am going to remain spoiler free. But since we last casted, The Good Place has ended.
Yes, I am a few episodes into that.
Just from the beginning?
No, from season 4.
Oh, okay,
Like,
okay.
yeah.
Because I know these 2 have not watched it at all. I don't think
Nope.
so. I just want to comment that I don't say this lightly, but it is definitely entered into my list of best television shows of all time. And I know that's I am the king of saying don't overhype a thing, especially to someone that hasn't seen it. But like the other things that I think of that are in my list of favorite shows are they've all had like ups and downs. Like they've like I love Battlestar Galactica, the Ron Moore version. That is an uneven show. I mean, a lot of people really hate the ending. A lot of people hate what they did just before the ending. You know, there are things that you can point to and say like, drop the ball a little bit on that. Even Deep Space Nine, like again, I think it's just a Ron Moore thing. Like first season mostly crap. After that, it's like, well, we're mostly working toward an end game. We have a plan in mind for the whole show. Ending is still kind of like, oh, all right, okay. I love Buffy and Angel. There are lots of uneven episodes and or things happening in those. This, like, I can just say fairly unequivocally, like, I think this is a damn near perfect show start to finish. I just think that, like, if there's even, like, a slightly down episode, it's, like, it's still better than most sitcom things should ever want to be, you know? And it is all one story. Like, they never really do like that. Well, we just gotta switch things up and do a side story episode. Everything is in service of the main story, and there's like, it's just like they had the whole 4 seasons written out at the beginning or something, or at least a damn good outline. It's marvelous, and they like nailed the ending, stuck the landing, whatever you want to say. It's just I adored it, start to finish.
I appreciate that the internet has not ruined it for me. Most people have just said, yeah, that's an ending I'm happy with. And I was like, oh, well, holy shit. Good job, Michael Schur and company.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I don't expect, Michael Schur to do well. It's just TV shows generally don't end very well.
Yeah. Very few shows pull it off, even when they decide their end point.
Right.
You know,
And did Good Place get canceled, or
No,
did they
they-
just decided to
they
end
said,
Yeah.
"Here's where
This
we're going
was the
with
British style,
it? Gotcha.
self-ending, like when the story is done and not listening to anybody about we need more episodes or seasons or stretch it or.
That's good.
I think it was just like it was sort of like, well, you nailed it on Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, people like that. This was just like, here's your carte blanche, like do what you want, like as much as you will give us, we will buy a show.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I hope things like go in that direction more. You know, like I'm sad and happy that like there's not going to be any more Watchmen. I mean, say what you will about Damon Lindelof and all of his various things that he's ever done, but it's like, I respect that. It's like, let's not change creators and just keep going because money. I think shows need to be more in the hands of the creators, for good or bad. Let the results speak for themselves and like stop network meddling and.
Well, in general, stop trying to like grind every penny out of every single, piece of intellectual property on the planet.
Well, what's happened is Netflix changed everything in that all the other shows had to reach 100. You had to reach 100 so you could be syndicated and run for whatever.
Right.
And that's why shows just kept going, because once they had that, it's like, oh well, you got to keep the syndication stuff, got to keep doing that. And now it's like nobody fucking needs that.
Right.
Like, if people are going to watch your show, they're going to go on Netflix and find it. They're going to go on Amazon Prime and find it. They're going to, watch it on Hulu, wherever. There's plenty of places, and it doesn't matter how many episodes there are. Most people are like, oh, good, this show's only 25 episodes total. Fucking sweet. I'm going to watch that. Whereas, like, if I ever want to rewatch X-Files, it's like, all right, there's like 190 episodes. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Good Place, like, if you count the last one as a two-parter, which I guess, was a double long episode, it would probably be split up at some point. But, I mean, if you count that as two, then it's 53 episodes. 52, really. But, like I said, that's just...
And they're fairly short episodes, too.
Yeah, it's a half-hour show, so... Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just...
I've never watched it on, like, normal television, so it never really occurred to me how long it was or wasn't.
Well, I mean, every episode has a chapter number. It says chapter whatever, like an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
And I remember like when I knew that the season was wrapping up, and I was like, are they going to end it on 50? Like just some nice round number, But then I was like, no, there's still several more episodes left, and just thought it was odd to end at like such a strange number. But
That's the number that took it to get there. So
yeah, like I said, I don't want to overhype it, but I adore that show. So
yeah, I really like it too. I'd kind of fallen off, and when I finished Sabrina, I was like, oh yeah, nice. I get to watch The Good Place now. I get to watch the last season. I haven't seen any of it.
yeah, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine's back now too.
Yep.
9-9.
9-9. I think I'm behind a season on that as well. So I got some catching up to do on the good shows. But as far as television, I guess you could say that we're in a good place for it.
All right, so contact information.
This would be a good place for you to give us contact information.
A good place to go if you want to get in contact with
Oh
us
my
is
God.
BMFcast.com, which is http://BMFcast.com.
www.
No, Harlow yelled at me for saying the WWs.
You can put the W's if you want to.
Oh, no,
You can put
no,
whatever
no.
subdomain you want on there. It's still going to take you to the homepage.
Dubs.
I'm not going to put them in there because you got
Okay.
mad at me. Yeah, go to BMFcast.com. Check the right-hand rail. That's going to have all your buttons to take you to all of our socials. If you want to just get in direct contact with us, you can email us, bmf@bmfcast.com, or you can call us on the Garfield phone, 9105-JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263. Also, the best things in life are not free. It costs us money to give this show to you in
And
hosting fees and equipment and...
I felt like a rhyme was coming.
Oh.
You were doing a cadence. Like,
Yeah, there was cadence, but no rhyme.
The best things in life aren't free, and I was waiting for to give it to thee or something.
Yeah, no, wasn't going to happen. I had a plan,
Okay.
and now you've interrupted me.
Good. Yeah.
So, anyway, it costs us money to do what we do, and if you would like to help us out, help us defray the cost a little bit, you can go to patreon.com/BMFcast, and in return for your small donation every month, anywhere from $1 up to as many dollars as you could reasonably afford or steal from a bank every month, you will get a load of content which will delight your ears and your mind at the same time, and possibly your heart. So give it a shot. Patreon.com/BamfCast.
Well said.
Yep. Well, let's get out of here, shall we?
Yes.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is Bamfcast out. Motherfuckers.
Man, I just realized like I wore the totally wrong shirt. I mean, besides it being a Banff shirt, but I mean, I'm almost the same color as the walls. Like on the live stream.
Vanished.
I'm just saying, like, I just look like a. I mean,
with
mean,
my eyes,
it's different enough. I'm just saying, like, I kind of just. These walls are beige as fuck. We gotta put some
So
shit
are
on.
we.
I mean,
Well
do we?
said.
Do
The
we
shirt
want-
He's the
actually
beige.
stands out
He's the
more.
beige.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I believe that's what Silent Jen called me for a while.
Well, yeah, because it was somebody called you that on the Facebook page, like in 2009.
Yep.
I don't know why you became the beige from there.
Yeah.
Ancient.
Maybe we should
So-
just like put some fucking wallpaper up or something.
No.
I was gonna say, like, if we want to paint this room,
Yeah, well,
Let's
we've
paint it
talked
black.
about, we had been looking into getting printable soundproof material or sound dampening material
Who was? We were.
in my workplace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know how much it was, but I might be able to look into getting some and maybe possibly trying some prints directly onto it.
Like some prints.
Yes.
yes. Huh? That would be interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know the pricing on it and the sizing.
I got you.
But I mean, I can do up to 4 feet by 8 feet.
Well, I was also thinking about doing acoustic panels. Like,
Yeah.
I think the 12-inch square ones will fit perfectly. Just do like maybe just
Do a border.
do a border up at top. I mean, not that you're gonna really see it except for anything on the wide cam, but I'm not going for decoration. I'm going for acoustics.
Did you get Wildlands on Xbone?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
I have it, yes.
The Ultimate Edition is like $42.
Hmm.
Normally 120.
For that old
Don't you
one?
be-
Are you talking about the Breakpoint?
No, Wildlands.
Yeah. I
Isn't
mean-
Wildlands the one you loved?
Yeah, but then they also did Wildlands, or no, I think it's like Wildlands Breakpoint. There's a sequel one. that
Yeah.
I haven't played. Oh, is it a different
Yeah.
thing? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm tempted to get Wildlands the whole thing.
Is that like just a bunch of the shit, or do you get like
It's
trinkets
everything.
with it?
It's like all the
I mean,
DLC. Year
but
2
it's not a
pass,
physical
year
copy.
1 pass. Oh,
It's not like a physical
no,
collector's
no,
edition or anything.
No, it's just
No,
all
they
the
did
DLC.
2 seasons of content. That's why it's so expensive.
Yeah.
No, I was just curious.
Apparently, Narco Road only has a 1.5 star rating.
Oh no.
People didn't like Narco
It's
Road. Huh?
not great,
Narco
Yeah.
Road.
but there is the Predator stuff.
That's in Narco Road.
No, I mean, no, that was a whole
Fallen Ghosts.
standalone thing.
Oh.
I think. I don't think it was like part of anything.
Is
I
it
think it's
still in
free.
there?
Yeah, it's still in there. Somebody, I don't know who said it was a time thing. That they were full of shit.
That was a lie.
That was a big
It's a
old lie.
goddamn dirty lie by
Yeah,
a
I mean,
liar.
Like I said, if you like
Pina
you like
colada.
sort of like that Far Cry, like just it's I more like GTA, like sort of like vehicles are just a conveyance to get me over somewhere faster, and I don't give a shit about them. I will crash a helicopter in a fucking second because I don't care. Kind of attitude, and mixed with like that Assassin's Creed, not 2, but like one of the 2 sequels where you had like minions, like
Brotherhood.
yeah, where it was like hit the button and they just like take out your people for you. There's a lot of good stuff there. There's your mini no quarters thing.
Yeah.
But I need to go click Division 2 before that goes away for $3.
Yeah, I bought it.
'Cause,
How
yeah,
long was that Death Stranding sale good for? Was it just was it?
when did it go on sale?
It was on sale.
Did they actually finally post it? I posted that day and they hadn't actually made it live yet.
Oh,
so
it was you that
Yeah.
mentioned it to me. Oh,
I don't
yeah.
remember. Was it just? I think it was like Critical Darlings sale or something like that, and it was one of those.
Yeah,
like,
there was a
post
pretty
awards
big
things.
sale recently.
I'll check it later. Now that I remember it.
All right, take us off the line.
Bye.
Bye. We'll try to put some more stuff on the wall at some point. Maybe.
Let's do it.
I'm not gonna crap on my walls, man.
We're going to get an astronaut diaper and put some crazy crap on the wall from the astronaut diaper.
Yeah.
Apparently she didn't wear a diaper. It was just
I'm
a joke.